What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. Being hunted, activate Kaleidoscope 1 AK Chapter 1 A life-threatening pursuit. Danzo was dumbfounded. Advertisement, we're surrounded. The number of enemies is 20. Judging from this tracking ability, they are the elite troops of the Gold and Silver Brothers of Cloud Shinobi village. In the country of fire, in the forest, the man in blue armor showed no panic on his cold face. Second Hokage put his fingers together and touched the grass. It only took a few seconds to sense the enemy behind him. And beside him. At this time, there were 6 people surrounding them, all with different expressions. Originally Cloud Shinobi formed an alliance with our Konoha clan, but Golden Horn and Silver Horn didn't respect martial ethics and rebelled and killed Second Hokage, and then launched a fierce siege against us. If it weren't for your Flying Thunder God technique, none of us can retreat. Mitokado Homura said in a low voice. The Golden Horn and Silver Horn are so powerful, but we only have 7 people, but the opponent has 20 people, all of whom are elites. If this continues, we have no chance of winning at all. Before he could finish speaking, Ekaharu interrupted him. How can you say such depressing words? The enemy hasn't grasped our exact location yet, so we are just lying in wait here for the opportunity. We may not be able to escape by surprise. Impossible. Akamichi took the wind and said solemnly. In this case, there must be one person as a bait to contain Golden Horn and Silver Horn. Otherwise it will be impossible to break through successfully, but this also means. Speaking of which, the 3 of them fell silent. They all know that this kind of bait is undoubtedly an act that will lead to death.
Are you going to use it as bait? Then say it now. Say it quickly, damn it. Why can't I say it? Are you afraid of death? Obviously Shimura Danzo, as an excellent ninja, I'm determined to die on the battlefield for Konoha.
Danzo's knees, placed on his palms, were trembling slightly, and he was struggling in his heart. Don't I even have the consciousness to sacrifice? But if I really die, Hokage will have no chance with me. Hiruzen, what are you thinking about now? Are you also hesitant? You are also afraid of death? I'll be the bait. Danzo's inner activities haven't ended yet. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked firm and showed no fear of sacrifice. Shimura Danzo. Akamichi takes the wind, Sarutobi. Mitokado Homura. Hiruzen, you. Ekaharu. As expected of you, my friend. Everyone was surprised but also took it for granted, they all knew their partners. At this stage, Sarutobi Hiruzen is very responsible, positive and forward-looking. In this world, almost no one is not afraid of death. But even though he is afraid of death, he still takes the initiative to sacrifice himself. This kind of courage is not something that ordinary people can possess. The fear in Shimura Danzo's heart disappeared, and his trembling hands stopped. Sarutobi Hiruzen patted the former's shoulder casually. From now on, we'll all be counting on you, Danzo. When Danzo heard this, he immediately became furious. Shut up, I was just about to take over this mission. Isn't it just a sacrifice? My father and my grandfather both sacrificed for Konoha on the battlefield, and I can also be like them. Don't think that you are the only one who can do it. I, Danzo, can do it too. I'm not a coward, monkey. Don't even think about being in the limelight alone. Sarutobi Hiruzen was a little confused. Okay, why are you so anxious all of a sudden? Senju Tobirama took note of everyone's performance, but he couldn't let Hiruzen Danzo and the others act as bait. It was just a test. Danzo, you and the monkey have to fight for victory at all times. There is no problem on weekdays, but in the future when the village is in crisis, we must unite and never fight endlessly for personal grudges. Otherwise Konoha will decline because of you. Sacrifice is a difficult choice for everyone. I can understand your hesitation. You are all the mainstay of Konoha and will be able to protect the young people who inherit the will of fire as they grow up. There is no need to leave your life here, so I can only be used as the bait. No. You are the second Hokage, the most important ninja in the village. How can you sacrifice yourself? Danzo said anxiously. Advertisement, Danzo, no one is expendable, Senju Tobirama said. For Konoha, each of us must prepare for the day of sacrifice. Only on that day will you understand whether the value of your life has been realized. Understood, Lord Tobirama. Senju Tobirama paused and looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen. As for you, monkey, you must protect the people in the village who worship you and trust you, and you must also cultivate responsible young people in the next era who will inherit the will of fire. From tomorrow onwards, you are the Hokage. Sarutobi Hiruzen was stunned. Suddenly he didn't know what to say, and everyone else was also shocked. Shimura Danzo's face was full of disbelief, and his eyes flashed with jealousy and annoyance. He actually lost to the monkey again. After explaining everything, Senju Tobirama left. Sarutobi Hiruzen and others watched second Hokage leave, while Homura and Kaharu formulated a breakout strategy. We can't take action now because the enemy doesn't know that we have separated yet, so when the battle breaks out between Lord Tobirama and Golden Horn and Silver Horn, more Cloud Shinobi elites will definitely be attracted to support. But don't expect us to leave safely without fighting. The enemy is not a fool. He may not guess that this is to lure the tiger away from the mountain. We must also be prepared for the worst. Clear. The Sarutobi nodded slightly. Homura and Kaharu are analytical talents, and everyone has no problem with that. However, one of them, a young Uchiha man, remained silent and did not respond before and after he left second Hokage. Ekaharu asked in confusion. Mirror, why don't you say anything? Do you think there is something wrong with the breakout strategy? Uchiha Kagami shook his head and said calmly, the strategy you formulated is fine, but I will not join the breakout. I have other plans. What's the plan? I'm going to save Lord Tobirama. What? Hearing this, everyone was shocked, thinking that Jing's brain was short-circuited. Sarutobi Hiruzen grabbed his shoulders, his face showing anxiety and concern. Mirror, don't be stupid. Even Lord Tobirama is planning to sacrifice for us, but you will die. It will have no effect at all. Hiruzen, I'm sure, you know me, Uchiha Kagami said. I know. You have never been a reckless person. You must have your reasons for doing this. But those two Cloud Shinobi are, after all, formidable enemies no weaker than Cage. It's still too dangerous for you to be alone. It's better to let Feng Feng cover you. Sarutobi Hiruzen gritted his teeth and made a suggestion. Of course he himself wanted to help him, but Lord Tobirama appointed himself Hokage. His personal life does not matter, but Konoha will be shaken by this, and Akamichi has the best relationship with Feng and Kagami in private, so he is the most suitable candidate. Hiruzen, thank you for thinking of me. Uchiha Kagami disagreed, but Feng Feng's super expansion jutsu can help you attract more firepower. Those 18 Cloud Shinobi elites are not easy to deal with. Without Feng Feng's cover, the probability of your breakout will be greatly reduced. Small. What should I do? I can't watch you take risks alone. Sarutobi Hiruzen has a hard time with his conscience. Uchiha Kagami changed her voice and put forward her own opinion. Indeed, it is too dangerous to save Lord Tobirama alone. Kaharu and Omura are too weak to help, and you want to succeed the third Hokage. You can't come with me. The wind is going to help you cover, so the choice is obvious. Danzo, will you join me in rescuing Lord Tobirama? Shimura Danzo. Da_da. Chapter 2 The Darkness of the Ninja World, The Death of Senju Tobirama? Advertisement, Danzo is numb. Brother, if you want to die, don't take me with you. Before he could refuse, Uchiha Kagami showed a gentle smile and gave him a high hat. Danzo, weren't you brave enough to act as bait for Hiruzen just now? It seems you are not a coward either. We in Konoha need people like you who are not afraid of sacrifice. Come with me to rescue Lord Tobirama. Me, Danzo is autistic. He felt that he was really stupid just now. Why can't I help but say such words when I see Hiruzen being in the limelight? It's better now. I'm stuck here and can't refuse at all. Rejecting means that what I just said was all nonsense. Everyone will feel. What about your awareness of Danzo as a ninja? Where's your determination to protect Konoha? Is it all a bluff? It seems that I can only rely on monkeys now. Hiruzen is highly respected, and as long as he refuses for himself, Uchiha Kagami can't force anything. However, when he turned his head, I saw Sarutobi Hiruzen grinning with encouraging eyes.
Danzo, don't worry. The will of fire will protect you. If you die, I will build a hero monument for you in Konoha.
Udadane Kaharu. Come on, Danzo, you will be the hero of Konoha. Akamichi took the wind. Don't be afraid, Danzo, you will die on the battlefield protecting Konoha just like your grandfather. Danzo felt like vomiting blood. The stabbings of other partners made him desperate for life. It's not that others deliberately targeted him like this, but who made him look like he was not afraid of sacrifice just now, making everyone think that he was not afraid of death. It's good now, it's impossible not to be afraid. Danzo took a deep breath and was about to say something. Then he saw Uchiha Kagami walking over, patted him on the shoulder, and showed a sincere smile. I was joking just now. Although Lord Tobirama appointed Hiruzen to succeed the Hokage, you will assist Hiruzen in the future to ensure that he does not go astray. Your importance is self-evident, so you cannot die with me. Thank you. Danzo's eyes were complicated. Suddenly, there was an illusion of a catastrophic life. Open black lens bracket ding. System hint. Close black lens bracket, favorability +1 from Shimura Danzo. 10 points of chakra, wind style vacuum wave, wind style vacuum continuous wave. Close black lens bracket. Oh ho, does it work? Uchiha Kagami's eyes lit up. After thinking for a moment, he whispered a few words into Danzo's ear. Brother, before I say goodbye, I want to tell you a few words from the bottom of my heart. You say. Although Hiruzen is very loved by the villagers, he is indecisive and not suitable for being a Hokage. I just think that you are decisive and very suitable for the position of third Hokage. Danzo's eyes lit up. Is this true? Seriously, I swear on Uchiha's name. Thanks. Shimura Danzo believed it. If it were any other Uchiha, he would only feel that the other party was mocking. But Uchiha Kagami is different from those arrogant guys, and it was his last words, so there is absolutely no way he can fake it anymore.
Advertisement. Open black lens bracket ding. System hint. Close black lens bracket. Favorability +5 from Shimura Danzo. The relationship is upgraded from superficial friends to close friends and relatives, and 50 points of chakra, wind style vacuum sphere, and aura characteristics, darkness of the ninja world are obtained. Close black lens bracket.
Darkness of the ninja world. When wearing this halo, your temperament will become dark and cold. When you want to obtain information, you will definitely obtain it in various ways. Close black lens bracket. Okay, Danzo is a good guy. Uchiha Kagami thought so in her heart. He is not the original Uchiha Kagami, but a mirror fused with modern memories. It's just that modern memory just covers the original memory. The amount of memory is too huge, so the integration will take time. The favorability system is naturally a plug-in. As the name suggests, you can get various rewards by brushing your favorability. There are also favorability tasks that are refreshed from time to time. The rewards for such tasks are very generous, and most of them are only directional. Open black lens bracket ding. System hint. Close black lens bracket, favorability mission. Rescue second Hokage. Change the fate of Senju Tobirama, and the start of the support operation is deemed to be completed. Close black lens bracket. Reward. Mangekyō Sharingan. Senju Tobirama favorability plus 20, chakra 2000 points. This is the task that was refreshed just 3 minutes ago. If it were an ordinary task, he would refuse it. After all, he is not very strong now. But this time the reward is Mangekyō Sharingan, above the 3 Magatama, and the mission is not fixed and refreshed. Who knows when it will be refreshed next time and whether the mission rewards will change. Certainly, more importantly, it is important for Senju Tobirama to survive. As the only Uchiha who is appreciated by second Hokage at this stage, after saving second Hokage, he is destined to be reused by Senju Tobirama. Future, it will have a huge impact on Konoha and even the ninja world. That's all. Danzo had mastered almost all the ninjutsu when he was young. Of course, including the remaining Sarutobi Hiruzen and others, their own chakra has increased to 2000 points, which is equivalent to the level of elite Jonin. Boom! At this moment, there was an explosion behind him. Thick smoke spread everywhere, a large number of birds were frightened and flew around, and the expressions of Sarutobi and others suddenly changed. Tobirama-sama and Gold and Silver Cape are taking action. Let's break out of the encirclement now. Mirror, take care, we must survive. Watch Sarutobi Danzo and others leave. Uchiha Kagami took a deep breath and headed straight in the direction Senju Tobirama left. After a while, he came to an open place. Large tracts of trees were blown to pieces, and there was a huge deep pit in the middle. There were stumps and broken legs all around the pit. Senju Tobirama collapsed on the slope, his face pale and blood dripping from the corners of his mouth. It's obvious, Senju Tobirama lost, and he lost quickly. Because of his declining condition, he only killed a few Jonin from the Golden Horn troops, and the damage to the Golden Horns and Silver Horns was not great. Dignified second Hokage, this is it? Kill him. Jin Zhao and Yin Jiao smiled disdainfully. In order to prevent the opponent from counter-attacking, he even ordered 2 Cloud Shinobi Jonin to finish the attack. Senju Tobirama vomited blood, clenched his hands and his eyes were dim, but his eyes were full of longing for the future. Is that the end? Ahem. It's a pity that I can't witness the glorious future of Konoha with my own eyes. Hiruzen, don't let me down. Chapter 3 The Power of Mangekyō. Kill Golden Horn instantly. Advertisement Senju Tobirama closed his eyes. It looks like they have given up, but in fact they are not. He planned to use a pillow on his back before he died, and the technique he was holding tightly with his fingers was none other than the powerful, tandem paper bombs. However, at this critical moment, I saw a red light flashing through the air. The 2 approaching Tobirama's Cloud Shinobi Jonin suddenly fell to the ground clutching their necks. Uchiha Kagami held the short sword in her right hand and stood in front of Senju Tobirama, her 3 Tomo Sharingan turning. Mirror. Why are you here? There was some worry on Senju Tobirama's cold face. You are no match for them. Golden Horn and Silver Horn are not ordinary ninjas. They also have 6 pads ninja tools in their hands. I know. Uchiha Kagami said calmly. Not only does he know that the Golden Horn and Silver Horn have 6 pads ninja tools. And they originally tried to capture 9 tails, but they were swallowed and only ate flesh and blood in their stomachs, possessing the 9 tails chakra. Many people look down on the Golden Horn and the Silver Horn. How can I kill the character who was killed by Darui in 2nd generation? But little did they know that Ginkaku was not only a senior figure in Cloud Shinobi Village. His power position is second only to that of 2nd Raikage, and he has the bloodline of Sage of 6 paths, so his strength is at least on the level of Kage. As for the 6 paths ninja tool, many people ignore its friendly nature. The 3-piece set of golden rope, 7-star sword, and red gourd is a serious ninja tool of the law of cause and effect. The amber purifying bottle can easily seal even the rampaging 8 tails, and the banana fan can blow up all the 5 major spells, which is very powerful. Tianshin only used this banana fan at that time. After a few fan blows, he defeated Kakuzu's Yu, which is enough to show the excellence of 6 paths ninja tools. Not to mention that Golden Horn and Silver Horn already possess the 9 tails chakra, and their combined combat power is definitely higher than that of ordinary Kage level. And with the speed of the Flying Thunder God technique, Tobirama should have no problem escaping. But at that time, he needed to protect the retreat of Sarutobi Hiruzen and others. When he was in poor condition, he couldn't use Flying Thunder God a few times. Losing is excusable. And can he win? He was not sure, but losing was impossible. Uchiha Kagami raised his head and looked at the enemy in front of him. The elder brother has long golden hair, 2 erect horns on his head, 3 symmetrical beards on his cheeks, and wears purple short sleeves and a white vest. The word, gold, is tattooed on his arm. He holds a banana fan in his left hand and carries an amber purification bottle on his back. Apart from his different hair, the younger brother is dressed the same. He wears a golden rope around his neck, a 7-star sword in his left hand, and a red gourd in his right hand. The eyes of these 2 guys revealed evil spirits, and it must be said that they were full of oppression. Uchiha Kagami, I know you, Ginkaku sneered and mocked. You are the leader of the Uchiha clan. I thought you would escape like the others, but I didn't expect you to come to save second Hokage. You are really stupid. It seems you are also a brainless guy. Why are you talking so much? Watch me slap him to death. The grumpy Jin Zhao is too lazy to talk nonsense. He immediately raised the banana fan, and with a sudden movement, a large flame surged away. Banana fan scroll of fire, fire-style great fireball technique. Uchiha Kagami takes his time. Make a seal with your hands, open your mouth and spit out flames. Tisk. The flames from both sides collided. The scorching heat flow spreads out, and intense high temperature rises. The flames from both sides continued to strengthen, and the range spread to more than 20 meters. The scene was extremely spectacular. You actually blocked it? How is that possible? No. This must be fake. How can this guy be my opponent? Jin Zhao couldn't help but be a little unbelievable. It is time to bite the bullet and continue to increase the chakra infusion. Advertisement. But no matter how much he continued, Uchiha Kagami's chakra seemed to be endless, and he even suppressed his own flames. Yin Jiao, why don't you come and help me? Hear the cry of the golden horn. Yin Jiao walked over holding the 7-star sword. A proud smile appeared on Jin Zhao's face. As long as the two brothers work together, Uchiha will die no matter how strong you are. Poof. But, the next second, his abdomen was penetrated by the 7-star sword. Yin Jiao took advantage of him not paying attention and stabbed him in the waist from behind. Yin Jiao, you actually betrayed me. You be ************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* furious. He waved the banana fan in his hand, and the large squalls turned into wind blades. Yinjiao's body was torn apart in the blink of an eye, but during the fragmentation, Yinjiao's body turned into pitch-black crows and scattered. Crow. No, I was under an illusion, but when, no matter how stupid Golden Horn is, he still wakes up. At this time, the crows gathered together and transformed into a young man with broken hair. The moment you saw these eyes, you had already fallen into my illusion without even realizing it. Uchiha Kagami looked joking. It's a pity that Ginkaku is quite smart and closed his eyes as soon as possible, otherwise you two brothers would have been defeated the moment they met me. Don't think that illusion is invincible. Silverhorn can help me break the illusion outside. When our two brothers use the power of 9 tails, you will be dead. Jin Zhao's eyes were fierce, but Uchiha Kagami didn't respond and raised his hand to tie him to the pillar. Each genjutsu clone held a kunai and stabbed back and forth on his waist, abdomen, and heart. The scene was bloody and miserable. Outside the spiritual space, at this moment, Yinjiao looked anxious. Quickly use your own chakra to interfere with the spirit and break the illusion. He was tricked by Uchiha's Sharingan. Ginkaku uses his trump card. I'm going to cut him into pieces. Okay, let's go straight in. Jinjiao was furious, and Yinjiao also looked serious. Silverhorn was the first to erupt with a violent chakra, the ground shattered, and the scarlet-tailed beast's coat was wrapped around it. However, Vajra has just mobilized the chakra. His expression suddenly changed, and suddenly, blood spurted out from his body. Poof. Poof, neck, waist, legs, heart. Hundreds of hideous wounds opened, spurting out a large amount of blood. In an instant, he turned into a bloody man. All the injuries in the mental space at this moment are actually reflected in reality. He could still rely on the tailed beast chakra to slowly heal other injuries, but he couldn't do it if his heart was shattered, and the severe pain of death was suffocating. Ah, Silverhorn. Run, there's something wrong with his illusion. Jinjiao looked horrified. For the first time, he felt the fear of the unknown. When he was about to die, he roared and screamed unwillingly. But before he could finish his last words, he fell to the ground with a thud and couldn't die anymore. Hiss, what on earth is it? Silverhorn took a breath. He didn't understand at all how Jinjiao died. From his perspective, it was just because Jinjiao accidentally looked at the other party's Sharingan, and then fell under the illusion and woke up and died immediately. What kind of weird ability is this riding horse? Gingaku felt his scalp numb, and he decisively unleashed the power of the tailed beast and ran away, not even having time to pick up the 2 fallen 6 paths ninja tools. The embarrassed Yinjiao felt sad in his heart. I'm sorry, Jinjiao. I will avenge you another day, brother. I'll run away now. Chapter 4 Mirror, will you be the Hokage? Advertisement. Call. Uchiha Kagami breathed a sigh of relief. Of course he also wants to kill Yinjiao, and he doesn't understand the principle of eradicating the grass and roots. But the move just now is not actually an illusion, but Mangekyō Sharingan's unique pupil technique, disillusionment, which is an enhanced version of Tsukuyomi. This move can not only pull the enemy's spirit into the mental space, including time, location, and quality, all controlled by him, but also feed back the damage the enemy suffered in the mental space to the real body. This is extremely terrifying. The chakra consumed by Tsukuyomi itself is already large, and the damage received in the mental space is fed back to the chakra consumed in reality, which is almost doubled. Therefore, killing Golden Horn instantly is not as easy as it seems. Uchiha Kagami thought to himself, it's still a bit desperate. We must increase our favorability as soon as possible to improve our strength, especially chakra. In addition, Eternal Mangekyō also needs it as soon as possible. Otherwise, if it is overused, it will be tragic to lose your sight. Open black lens bracket ding. System hint. Close black lens bracket, the favorability from Senju Tobirama is +20. The relationship is upgraded from close friends and relatives to as close as brothers, and 200 points of chakra and impure world reincarnation are obtained. Close black lens bracket. Not bad, not bad, it has already risen to 5,000 points. My current chakra is considered a standard cage level, and I have also obtained Impure World Reincarnation, which proves that this adventure is worth it. Uchiha Kagami is very satisfied. It's just a pity that I didn't get the Flying Thunder God technique. Uchiha Kagami gathered his thoughts, lifted up the pale Tobirama, and looked extremely worried. Master Tobirama, your injury is not serious, right? My medical talent is limited and I cannot help you. I am very ashamed. The injury is not serious, don't worry, but when did you awaken Mangekyō? Tobirama asked doubtfully. Just now, I saw that Tobirama-sama's life and death were unknown. I thought I would lose Tobirama-sama forever. Uchiha Kagami joked seriously. At that time, I was really in pain, despair, and my eyes hurt. I didn't think much about it, so I came here to help you. Aren't you worried that Mangekyō hasn't awakened yet? I have never been worried. Lord Tobirama, you have not only been kind to me, but also treated me with great respect. I not only regard you as a senior, but also as an elder brother. Whether I can awaken Mangekyō is not important to me. I have never been afraid of death. For me, protecting Konoha and protecting my family is the most important thing. Uchiha Kagami said. I squeezed out a few tears from the corners of my eyes, and my voice almost choked with sobs. Mirror. Senju Tobirama was moved. He had no doubts about what Uchiha Kagami said. First of all, the former is an aspiring young man that he admires, and he is currently the only genius who is not bound by the ideas of the Uchiha family. This time, risking life and death to save her, the relationship between the two has grown even more. Even the closest Sarutobi Hiruzen cannot compare. Advertisement, as close as brothers, is not just something you say casually. I can't be so reckless anymore, I'm already old. Senju Tobirama patted him on the shoulder and said seriously, you are still young at only 25 years old. Konoha's future still needs your support. It would be unworthy to die here. Lord Tobirama, just call me Big Brother in private. Brother, I know you chose to sacrifice yourself for the future of Konoha. I don't care whether Hiruzen and the others can take on the big responsibility, but you sacrificing yourself will only make the future of Konoha worse. Uchiha Kagami seriously rode. Tell me why. Tobirama frowned. The reason is that something happened inside Cloud Shinobi village that we didn't understand, which led to the sudden betrayal of gold and silver at the alliance meeting, but second Hokage was completely unaware of it and was killed by the two brothers in a sneak attack on the spot. Uchiha Kagami's eyes flashed. I personally speculate that the ninja world has been peaceful for nearly 20 years. The reckless people in Cloud Shinobi village are very likely to intend to provoke a war, but second Hokage does not want to be the leader, so the senior management disagrees. As the main militant faction, the Golden Horn and Silver Kaku couldn't defeat Hokage, so they decided to kill second Hokage on the spot at the alliance meeting. With the death of second Hokage, it was destined to shock the ninja world. If you, Tobirama-sama, also died here, then the second generation Kage, who is the #1 ninja village in the ninja world, would be dead, and other ninja villages would definitely be ready to take action, and the war is about to break out. It may even evolve into the second ninja war. Senju Tobirama raised his eyebrows and his eyes gradually became sharp. The analysis makes sense, but with Konoha's current background, it is not afraid of war, and the village does not lack Hokage candidates, they will only lose worse. What if Konoha's heritage is exhausted? What if Konoha declines? Uchiha Kagami asked. Senju Tobirama doesn't believe in evil. How is it possible? Although the monkey's abilities are a bit weak, it's not like he can't cultivate new powers, right? Hiruzen is passionate and positive, but he is indecisive, Jang commented. That's why I kept Kaharu Homura and Danzo to assist him. Kaharu and Homura have good analytical skills, and Danzo is ruthless to outsiders. Isn't this the most perfect high-level composition? How could Konoha lose all its foundation? On the contrary, this will only accelerate the decline of Konoha. People are destined to struggle for power, and Danzo and Hiruzen will not obey anyone. The advisors of Mitokado Homura and Udatane Kaharu will make Sarutobi Hiruzen waver. If you make a wrong step, Konoha's decline will be accelerated several times. Uchiha Kagami said firmly. Especially during the war, this influence will be infinitely amplified. Konoha may be able to win the second ninja war, but even if the third ninja war is won, Konoha's heritage will be almost exhausted. Light. When Konoha is no longer strong, the indecisive Hiruzen will bow to the enemy, even at the expense of Konoha people to prevent war. He dares? I broke his legs. Senju Tobirama's eyes were filled with anger. It wasn't like he hadn't thought that the fight between Danzo and Hiruzen would affect Konoha. It's just that he mistakenly thought that the advice before his death as a teacher would save Danzo and Hiruzen from arguing. However, he underestimated Danzo's jealousy of Hiruzen and his obsession with the position of Hokage. It seems, Hiruzen and Danzo are both difficult to hold big positions. Senju Tobirama suddenly looked at the mirror and narrowed his eyes. Mirror, since you can see so clearly, why don't you become the third Hokage? Uchiha Kagami. Huh? Note, there is no official setting proving that the second generation died in the first ninja war. All similar settings are reasonable second settings considered by the author. However, according to the official setting of Book of Formations, the second generation died at 31 years ago, that is, Konoha 37 years. Uchiha Kagami is 25 years old, the Hiruzen Quartet is 42 years old, Kaifeng is 30 years old, and second generation is 60 years old. Except for the age conflict of Yahiko, there are basically no logical problems. Young appearance does not represent the actual age. Chapter 5 Konoha is invincible. Who is in favor and who is against? Advertisement. What I said just now is certainly not alarmist. According to the original plot, both Uchiha Kagami and Tobirama will die here. Uchiha Kagami will die at the age of 25, and Senju Tobirama will die at the age of 60. Immediately afterwards, the Second Ninja War will break out. Sarutobi Hiruzen came to power as the Third Hokage, Kaharu Homura acted as an advisor, and Danzo led the root organization to assist the Hokage.
This high-level power structure divides Hokage's rights into four. Although the Third Hokage seemed to be highly respected at the time, in fact its power was greatly restricted. With the overt and covert struggles among the top leaders, it directly affected the political trend of Konoha for decades to come. The Second Ninja War was over. The Third Ninja War was also won, but the victory was very difficult. As the victor, Sarutobi Hiruzen was too cowardly to even ask for compensation. Later, Cloud Shinobi village came to Konoha to sign a truce agreement, but attempted to kidnap Hinata, the eldest daughter of the Hyuga clan. Cloud Shinobi's head was beaten to death by Hyuga Hiyashi on the spot. However, Cloud Shinobi village actually stepped on the nose and asked Konoha to give an explanation. In order to prevent Konoha from falling back into war, the old Sarutobi Hiruzen pulled Hizashi, the younger brother of the Hyuga clan leader, out to take the blame. Hizashi's death caused the conflict between the Hyuga clan and the branch house to intensify. As for Uchiha, that would be a worse ending than the Hyuga family. You know, during the Second Hokage's reign. In fact, they are relatively tolerant of the Uchiha clan, with only the simplest surveillance measures, and Senju Tobirama is not so cautious. In his opinion, as long as you don't rebel against the village, I will take the initiative not to target you. Not to mention, with Uchiha Kagami as a neutralizing agent, the Uchiha family's life is not so bad as it was during the third generation. When the Third Hokage came to power, they tacitly allowed Danzo to suppress and exclude the Uchiha clan, and various operations emerged in endlessly. Originally, he was a bit arrogant and mentally unstable. He didn't even think about rebelling against the village, so he was forcefully forced into desperation. What's even more annoying is, finally, two geniuses emerged. They are all normal people who have been influenced by Uchiha Kagami's thoughts. Those who were brainwashed by Danzo and Hiruzen are not normal either. Shisui believed Danzo committed suicide, and Uchiha Itachi went to the other extreme and directly destroyed the Uchiha clan. During the Third Ninja War, Danzo even encouraged Hanzo in Rain Shinobi village to destroy the Akatsuki organization headed by Yahiko. At that time, the Akatsuki organization was still a peace-loving, decent mercenary organization that mainly used negotiation methods. When Yahiko died, Nagato transformed into Kami God on the spot. Vow to make the whole world feel the pain. Good guy. Look, how well these two go with each other. They are obedient to their enemies and strike hard at their own people. The reason why the ninja world is so chaotic is all because of these two guys except Black Zetsu. Someone asked, do the Nagato trio count themselves as one of their own? Why doesn't it count? Jiraiya's personal disciple. The Akatsuki organization belongs to the Nagato trio, doesn't that mean Akatsuki belongs to Konoha? With a little bit of brainpower, the Akatsuki organization was brought in, but Danzo turned them into an evil organization. Isn't this a joke? And Uchiha Kagami also realized. The survival of himself and Tobirama is important to the future direction of the plot. Now he and Second Hokage are like brothers. As long as he lives, the Uchiha clan will not be exterminated. And live by yourself. Advertisement. It is a sure thing that Mangekyō Sharingan will be the leader of the clan. This will greatly affect the minds of Shisui and Itachi, allowing them to move towards the path of normal people. And Senju Tobirama's penultimate political acumen does not require any consultants at all. He himself is the most powerful politician, educator, and military strategist in the ninja world. 90% of the existing systems of the major ninja villages are copied according to his ideas. Without the infighting among the top brass, Konoha would become monolithic. If he becomes the Third Hokage, the Uchiha clan will not only avoid genocide, but also speed up their integration into Konoha village. But the problem is what Senju Tobirama said true or false? Can the relationship of as close as brothers allow the Second Hokage to succeed the Third Hokage without regard to the identity of Uchiha? Uchiha Kagami doesn't quite believe it. You must know that after the favorability level increases, it does not mean that it will not decrease. The upper limit of favorability is 100 points, and every 20 points is divided into a relationship level, which are 5 levels: passerby, superficial friend, close friends and relatives, close as brothers, shared life and death. I have just entered into a brotherly relationship with Tobirama, but the relationship is not that strong. Every word and deed will affect the increase or decrease of my favorability. Especially the Hokage tradition of killing the master. Once the bottom line is touched, they will not care about your brothers or friends, but they will kill you without mercy. At this moment, the answer is clear. Uchiha Kagami raised his eyebrows slightly, pretending to be surprised, and then pondered for a long time and said, Lord Tobirama, although I have seen clearly, my ability to govern is far inferior to yours, and I am afraid I will not be able to shoulder the important responsibilities. Besides, to me, it doesn't matter who becomes the Hokage, as long as he can protect Konoha. Senju Tobirama said with a half smile, so you don't just want to save me, but more to protect Konoha. From a personal perspective, you can't watch me sacrifice. From a collective interest, saving me can make you happy. Konoha is saved from decay. That's right, Lord Tobirama. As expected of the person I like, why do you call me sir? Didn't you say you called me brother? If you do this again, I won't be happy. Okay, brother. Senju Tobirama's cold face showed a smile. And Uchiha Kagami breathed a sigh of relief in his heart. It seemed that the second Hokage's decision just now was a test to see if he had the idea of becoming a Hokage. Why so sure? Because Tobirama's favorability did not decrease, but increased by 2 points. This proved that the other party still cared about his identity as Uchiha, and the words he just said showed his determination to protect Konoha, which increased his favorability level a little. Let's go back to the village first. Senju Tobirama's eyes were sharp. The war is about to begin. We must go back as soon as possible to prepare the village. Dare to provoke Konoha. I will let other ninja villages understand. Konoha is invincible. Konoha village. Hokage office. The Sarutobi quartet and Tofung gathered together. All the Jonin in Konoha were holding their breath, and the atmosphere was very heavy. Just now, everyone received the news of the sacrifice of the second Hokage, and as Hiruzen and the others are students of the second generation, it is naturally impossible to fake this news. What should we do now? Lord second generation died, we should ask the damn Cloud Shinobi to compensate. If we don't compensate, we will give up. You only need compensation if Hokage dies. What a shame. Stop arguing. Danzo stood up and said solemnly, the most important thing now is to let Hiruzen succeed the third Hokage as soon as possible. The village cannot be without shadow. Only in this way, whether it is war or negotiation, Konoha can be stabilized. You are right, but Hokage's succession does not take a day or two. It will be too late by the time Hiruzen takes over. Moreover, Hiruzen is not familiar with Hokage's government affairs and may be confused. Akamaki said in a low voice. I know, Shimura Danzo said righteously, so I suggest that Sarutobi Hiruzen temporarily replaces Hokage, and I am responsible for assisting third Hokage. Kaharu and Homura can serve as advisors, so that the situation in Konoha will be completely stabilized. Who agrees? Who opposes? Chapter 6 Second generation must die. I, Danzo, said it. Advertisement. Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. Akamaki was shocked. Danzo, a veteran, exposed his ambition so quickly. Tobirama-sama has just died for less than half a day, and you are going to fight for your rights. Although he felt unhappy, he was sensible and didn't say much, because although he was also a Hokage guard, the other 4 were disciples of the second generation. And Hiruzen was designated as the third Hokage. The future third Hokage doesn't object, but what's the use of your objection? On the other hand, the reason why Shimura Danzo is so anxious is to quickly form the prototype of the consciousness of Konoha's new high-level people, and the Jonin will accept it as well as the lower-level ninjas. Just wait for the monkey to take over, and everything will fall into place. It doesn't help anyone who comes. Unless, second Hokage comes back from the dead. But he knew this was impossible, and when the Jonin saw that Hiruzen was silent, almost all of them raised their hands in agreement. Only one Jonin did not raise his hand. The man was wearing a green Jonin vest, with the clan emblem tattooed in red at the top and white at the bottom on the lining shoulders, and there were 2 tear troughs at the corners of his eyes. Fugaku, do you have any different suggestions? Hiruzen asked in surprise. It's not a suggestion. The first thing I want to ask is, are you sure that Lord second generation died? Did you see this with your own eyes? Uchiha Fugaku frowned. Sarutobi Hiruzen said seriously. We didn't see it with our own eyes, but Lord Tobirama not only fought against the Golden Horn and Silver Horn, but also the elite troops under his command. There are many Jonin among them, so they must have been sacrificed. There is no need for us to lie about this. Uchiha Fugaku said in a low voice. Since Mr. Second Generation thought he was certain to die, why did Kagami go to the rescue? Kagami is 6 years older than me. He is smart, rational, and good at thinking. He is not a reckless person. Could it be that he thinks that Mr. Second Generation still has a possibility of survival? Besides, you guys haven't seen the body of Mr. Second Generation, so you are so anxious, isn't it too childish? Note. In the 37th year of Konoha, Fugaku is 19 years old and is not yet the clan leader. This book is set to be a candidate for the clan leader like Kagami. Before Hiruzen could say anything, Shimura Danzo stood up hastily, with a ferocious expression on his face. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Kage's strength is not as good as Hiruzen's. Those Cloud Shinobi elites are not something that one Jonin can handle. Besides, Gold and Silver Horn killed second Raikage in an instant. How can Kagami be confident that he can save Lord Tobirama? The second generation will die, I said it. It won't work for anyone who comes. Quote. At this time, suddenly, chakra fluctuations were heard in the air. Shie. 2 figures appeared in front of everyone out of thin air, one wearing blue armor, the other with eyes shining with scarlet light. Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. Everyone was stunned, and Shimura Danzo was even more dumbfounded. He rubbed his eyes vigorously, as if he was hallucinating. Uchiha Kagami showed a teasing smile with a playful expression. Danzo, you just said that Lord Tobirama is dead and it won't work no matter who comes. Why don't you say it again? Me. Shimura Danzo was speechless for a moment. His whole face was filled with shame, like a child making a mistake. Senju Tobirama came over with a scolding look in his eyes. Danzo, it's my intention to let you assist Hiruzen, but you shouldn't be in such a hurry. Besides, even if I die. Advertisement. Should we send someone to verify it, or at least see the body before making a conclusion? As a ninja, you can't think about what is what. This is wrong. I'm sorry, I was wrong. Danzo lowered his head. You are a good boy if you know your mistakes and can correct them. But since I am not dead, the third Hokage will be put on hold for the time being, and there is no need for consultants and assistants. Shimura Danzo was stunned for a moment. But he didn't dare to say anything, and 2 tears rolled down the corners of his eyes. On the contrary, Sarutobi Hiruzen, Kaharu, and Homura burst into tears when they saw their teacher was still alive. But Lord Tobirama, how did you escape? Yes, the Golden Horn and the Silver Horn can kill second Raikage. They also have a large number of elites under their command. I'm afraid it will be difficult to escape from such a dangerous situation, right? Quote. Everyone is curious. From their point of view, this is almost a desperate situation. Especially since the second Hokage still has to fight with it to protect the retreating Hiruzen and the others, it will be even more difficult. Senju Tobirama said slowly. At that time, my chakra was insufficient, and I was defeated by Golden Horn and Silver Horn and almost died. It was my sworn brother who saved me, and he also instantly killed Golden Horn. Ginkaku was frightened and ran away, and the remaining Cloud Shinobi elites, including the group that ambushed Hiruzen and the others, were all wiped out by his sworn brother. Sworn brother. It's Uchiha Kagami. What? It's really him. Everyone showed shocking expressions. Even the veteran Jonin lost their composure one by one. The 4 members of Sarutobi Hiruzen all opened their mouths with disbelief on their faces, which was really shocking. Uchiha Fugaku took a deep breath. Second generation lord, I'm not questioning you, but Kage does have some resourcefulness. It's very rare to be able to save you in such a dangerous way. How could I kill Golden Horn and scare away Silver Horn? Woolen cloth. Of course he couldn't do it before, but my adopted brother has awakened Mangekyō Sharingan. If it hadn't been for the pupil technique that had just opened his eyes, the load would have been too great, otherwise Silver Horn would have just died. Senju Tobirama raised his head proudly, as if he had awakened this Sharingan. And then Tobirama also threw out Golden Horn's extremely miserable body from the scroll, as well as the confiscated banana fan and amber purifier. Hiss. What a guy. He even stole the 6 Paths ninja tool. Look at the hundreds of wounds on Jin Zhao's body, and his miserable death, you can fully imagine how desperate he was at the time. He is indeed the legendary Mangekyō Sharingan. Such talent reminds me of the one who competed with Lord First Hokage back then. Oh my god, Uchiha Kagami is so scary. Quote. After seeing the Golden Horn corpse and the 6 Paths ninja tool, Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others were all convinced, and the expressions they looked at in the mirror were different, but basically they were all filled with respect, admiration, and envy. After all, Uchiha Kagami has a very good reputation in Konoha village, unlike some Uchiha who learned Chidori and became crazy about it. The key is, because of this rescue, Kagami became Tobirama's adoptive brother. This proves that the opponent's status has surpassed that of disciples like Hiruzen, and his rise to prominence is just around the corner. But, one of them is different. It doesn't matter if I can't compete with Sarutobi, but I can't even compete with damn Uchiha. A trace of greed flashed in the depths of Danzo's eyes. Those eyes awakened by the mirror, can actually kill the Golden Horn in an instant. If I also have the Mangekyō Sharingan. Chapter 7 The Beginning of the War. Danzo's Greed. Advertisement. No, the mirror is my friend, why do I think so? Then I'll start with other Uchiha, right? Ordinary Sharingan, may be of great help to me. Mirror shouldn't blame me, right? Danzo denied his greed, but not completely. Uchiha Fugaku smiled helplessly. Mangekyō's news was still too shocking. It may be just news to these people, but it is a completely different concept to the Uchiha clan. At least, he is no longer qualified to compete with Jing for the position of clan leader. Open black lens bracket ding. System hint. Close black lens bracket. Favorability from Yuhi Mahong +5. Favorability from Yumino Akaku +10. Favorability from Kato Dan +10. Favorability from Akamaiki Tofu +10. Acquire 1250 chakra points, illusion tree binding kill, spiritualization technique, and part of expansion jutsu. Close black lens bracket. Here the system prompts. Uchiha Kagami's face was gentle, but her heart was filled with joy. In fact, he originally planned to hide Mangekyō for a while, but later he felt it was unnecessary. First of all, Ginkaku wouldn't be able to hide it for long if he wasn't dead. Again, spread the word early. It's easier to get more favorability points, these Jonin's techniques are average. But he is lacking chakra now. He has only spread a dozen Jonin and gained another 1000 points of chakra. Wait until it spreads throughout Konoha. Even if there are only 1,000 people who can gain a little favorability each, if it is 10 times that, there will be tens of thousands of chakras, which is a decent super shadow level. Wait until the second ninja war breaks out. It wouldn't be difficult to get another 100,000 points of chakra, right? Even tailed beast level chakra is not a dream. The pleasantries are almost over. Senju Tobirama is sitting on the Hokage seat, Uchiha Kagami is sitting on the small chair next to him, and everyone else is sitting directly opposite. Now that everyone is here, let's begin the meeting regarding Cloud Shinobi. Since Cloud Shinobi village dares to provoke Konoha, they must pay the price. That's right. If you dare to attack Lord Tobirama, then chop off their claws. I think we can declare war on Cloud Shinobi. Yes, it's time to show the power of Konoha. Quote. Senju Tobirama is not dead. Everyone was excited and not worried about winning or losing. To be precise, the second generation team is their backbone. When the backbone is there, they will be vulnerable to any war or Cloud Shinobi. Coupled with Kagami's Mangekyō, everyone is emboldened. After watching the Jonin finish speaking, Senju Tobirama turned his head and looked to the side. Mirror, what do you think? Declaring war is necessary, but just declaring war on Cloud Shinobi village is too weak. We in Konoha are the #1 ninja village. The ninja world has been at peace for 20 years. Rock Shinobi, Sand Shinobi, and Cloud Shinobi are all ready to move and are jumping around on the border of our fire country. Uchiha Kagami Haki said completely, but no one dares to provoke a war. Only brainless fools like Cloud Shinobi dare to do so. Then give them a war and let them understand how hard One Piece is. Sarutobi Hiruzen hesitated. What about Kurigakure? They are far away and have hardly provoked us Konoha. Do we still want to declare war on them? Of course, treat everyone equally. But, wouldn't it be wrong to offend all the ninja villages at once? What else does Sarutobi Hiruzen have to say? But soon, he was interrupted by the strong words of second Hokage. What happened to offend? Konoha is not afraid of any enemy. In 3 days, we will demand accountability from Cloud Shinobi village. If you dare to attack the shadows of Konoha, ask them to hand over the criminal Ginkgo and compensate Konoha 100 million taels. And declare war on the 4 countries of wind, earth, water, and thunder at the same time. If you don't surrender, prepare for the baptism of war. Yes, Lord second generation. Advertisement. Senju Tobirama made the decision with one word. No one dared to refute, and the Jonin left each other. The ninjas were gathered to form an advance team, and then Uchiha Kagami and Hiruzen left. Walking on the street, everyone came to the ramen restaurant. After a half-day meeting, everyone was starving. Show, each of you will have a piece of Grand Slam ramen and charge it to my account. Mirror, it's a waste of money. Uchiha Kagami treats guests as soon as she enters the store, doubling the favor of Hiruzen and others. Grand Slam ramen is all topped with barbecued pork, fried eggs, and meatballs. I have to say that Naruto's favorite ramen is really delicious. Everyone chatted while eating, but the central topic was the mirror. For example, how to save the second generation, how to awaken Mangekyō, how to kill Golden Horn, and how to scare away Silver Horn. In the corner, Danzo ate the noodles without saying a word. Seeing them chatting so animatedly, he suddenly felt that the ramen no longer tasted good. What? Not happy? Jing Chao muttered. No, I'm not unhappy. Danzo said with a guilty conscience. Are you saying no? Your face stinks so bad right now. I know why you're unhappy. Isn't it because you can't be the Hokage's assistant? Uchiha Kagami whispered. I know you actually want Hokage's position, but second generation passed Hokage to Hiruzen, but now there is no Hokage assistant, so you are not happy, right? As smart as you are, there's no chance for me anyway. Danzo was depressed. It's definitely not possible now, but it may not be impossible in the future. Uchiha Kagami showed a wicked smile. Master Tobirama is already so old. I don't think he will live for a few more years. The position of Hokage will be passed down sooner or later. When the time comes, won't it be enough for me to recommend you to my eldest brother? Is this true? Danzo's eyes lit up again. Of course, I said I was optimistic about you. Hiruzen naively wanted to let Kurigakure go in the meeting just now. Do you think that if you let Kurigakure go this time, he won't attack us in the next war? Uchiha Kagami said. You are still too naive. I will recommend you when the time comes. But, why aren't you interested in being a Hokage? Have you forgotten my identity? Big brother won't let me be a Hokage. Besides, I'm really not interested. Do you believe it or not? I believe it, thank you, Jing, you are a good person. Danzo finished his ramen. I cheered up again and left the ramen shop in a hurry. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was on the left, came over and asked curiously, Hey, what were you talking about with Danzo just now? I heard Hokage or something, what exactly happened? Uchiha Kagami turned around and asked. It's nothing, it's just that Danzo was a little disappointed because he didn't become Hokage's assistant, so I comforted him. By the way, you can't be the third Hokage. Are you disappointed? Tell me honestly, this relationship between us, don't be polite. It's not that I'm disappointed, I'm just a little disappointed. Then do you still want to be a Hokage? I mean when the eldest brother gets older. Sarutobi Hiruzen said helplessly. Of course I have, but do I still have a chance? Lord Tobirama seems to be very disappointed in me because of my rebuttal just now. A momentary disappointment is nothing. Lord Tobirama values you very much, even if it doesn't work. Uchiha Kagami bumped his shoulder, as if the two brothers were good friends. When the time comes, I recommend you to be the third Hokage. As the younger brother, the eldest brother will definitely believe me, right? The third Hokage will not be yours by then. Is this true? Certainly. Jing, thank you, you are so kind. Sarutobi Hiruzen eats ramen in 2 bites. He regained his former vigor and left in a hurry. Uchiha looked at their backs and couldn't help but feel unbearable. They are really smart. They said thank you to others after being cheated. After all, they are not old foxes. They will not be so easily fooled in the future. You have to take advantage of the moment and cheat a few more times. Chapter 8 Is he 13 years old? Advertisement. Open black lens bracket ding. System hint. Close black lens bracket. Favorability +3 from Sarutobi Hiruzen, +2 favorability from Danzo, and obtain the seal of the dead ghosts, the seal of self-inflicted curse, and the halo characteristics ninja professor. Close black lens bracket. Professor Ninja. When you take the initiative to learn ninjutsu, you will definitely learn ninjutsu as long as it conforms to the logical theory. Close black lens bracket. Oh my god, this feature is heaven-defying. Uchiha Kagami was stunned. Even though he has a calm personality, he can't help but get excited. As long as you can learn ninjutsu that conforms to logical theories, doesn't it mean that you can learn whatever you want without having to work hard to gain favorability? The key is, it seems that the ninjutsu gained through gaining favorability is not limited to age. The characteristics of the ninja professor need to be found in a private place to try it out first. Let's go home first. Uchiha Kagami thought for a while. Based on vague memories, he walked towards the Uchiha clan's clan. It's almost due east of Konoha, not too remote nor too close. Note. The Uchiha clan was forced to move to the edge of Konoha after the Nine-Tails incident when high-level officials suspected it. After a while, he came to the house. A slightly larger courtyard with a small wooden attic in the middle, with 2 floors. As soon as Uchiha Kagami opened the courtyard door, he saw a tall, young man, who looked to be in his 20s, standing at the door and bowing respectfully. Welcome home. You are my servant. Uchiha Kagami was surprised. The young man's eyes widened with tears in his eyes. Father, what are you talking about? I am your son. But you look very old, about the same age as me. Are you kidding me? Father, I am only 13 years old. Quote question mark quote. He's 13 years old. Uchiha Kagami was confused and looked this guy up and down. I found that apart from her mature appearance, she was really similar to me in other aspects, whether it was facial features or hairstyle. When he thought about the Hokage's precocious style, he accepted this fact. Father, what's wrong with you? Have you lost your memory? Zifeng asked worriedly. Well, I lost some of my memory. When I awakened Mangekyō, my mental energy was unstable. My memory was blurred due to the impact. I can remember some now. Uchiha Kagami shook his head. This is not a pretense, the relevant memories have indeed surfaced just now. Mangekyō's awakening is inherently dangerous and has no flaws, and losing memory is quite normal. Even Senju Tobirama did not doubt himself. I see, my father has suffered. Zifeng sighed. Where's Susu? I'm sorry, father, but she is unwell and cannot come to greet you. Feeling unwell, Zifeng walked over, with an unhidden smile on his face, and whispered. Yes, father, I have good news for you. Susu was pregnant just before you came back from your mission. Pregnant. Wait, Uchiha Kagami suddenly realized something. You are 13 years old, how old is Uchiha Susu? Susu is the same age as me, she is also 13 years old. Beast. Uchiha Zifeng expressed his incomprehension. Father, you may not know that the average lifespan during the Sengoku period was only 30 years old. In order to allow the family to inherit and iterate, ninjas usually get married and have children at the age of 15. 13 is actually not that outrageous. Besides, didn't you ask me to get married and have children early? Didn't I follow your wishes? Isn't that too early? At 13, you are really punished. Advertisement. Uchiha Kagami complained. After all, it's just a fusion of modern memory. Most of the original person's memories have not yet been restored, and this cannot be changed instantly, but he still asked patiently. By the way, have you chosen a name? Originally, I wanted to ask you to give me a name, but when Lord Sarutobi Hiruzen came back, he said that you and the second generation were sacrificed, so we picked the name this morning. What is it called? Shisui. Uchiha Shisui. Quote. Uchiha Kagami was stunned. He thought that Shisui was his descendant, but not his grandson. But carefully recalling the word, descendant, said in the original work, if it is a son, why not just call him Jing's son? And if it is a son, how could Yi Jing and Hiruzen not be able to figure out the relationship between their son and grandson? This is obviously illogical. In addition, he happened to recall that 2 years ago, someone from the Uchiha clan inherited Uchiha Madara's will and believed that Konoha should let Uchiha take power, so he launched a coup to seize power. But was easily suppressed by Senju Tobirama. But for Jing's sake, he just put the person in charge in jail. After experiencing that coup and seizing power, the second generation project did not do anything to other Uchiha, but it increased the monitoring and control of Uchiha. Note. This thing is true, and the specific name also exists, but the time is second guessing. This incident also made Uchiha Kagami worried about the future of her family. The Uchiha clan is arrogant, warlike, and has no emotional intelligence at all. He was worried that if he suddenly died on the battlefield one day, the situation of the Uchiha clan would become more and more dangerous. Then, he asked Zifeng to get married and have children as soon as possible. But Zifeng is not Kagami himself after all, and the ideas passed down are not authentic at all. Later, coupled with Danzo and Hiruzen's brainwashing, Shisui's thoughts were completely distorted. Looking at it this way, it makes a lot of sense. Although a bit outrageous in terms of age, at least it can stand up to scrutiny. Seeing that his father was silent, Zifeng looked uneasy and said, Father, don't you think this name sounds good to you? You can definitely choose a new one. No, it's just Shisui. Uchiha Kagami shook his head and said seriously, but after Shisui is born, I will personally guide him. He will be the future of the Uchiha clan. Of course, it's an honor. By the way, is Uchiha Fugaku married? Not yet, but I heard that Lord Fugaku already has a girl he likes. His name is Uchiha Makoto. It is said that he just turned 14 this year. Zifeng said cautiously. Fugaku is almost 20 years old, right? Yes. Another beast. Zifeng scratched his head and couldn't help but remind in a low voice. Father, you may have forgotten that you have lost your memory. You got married and gave birth to me when you were 12 years old. If we really want to compare, we can't compare with you. Huh, do you want to be beaten? Uchiha Kagami threatened. Think, I'll help you. Ah, no, ah, the screams continued. But Zifeng was very happy. He felt that his familiar father was back. Note, the reason why Shisui and Kakashi are set to be the same age is because Kakashi became a Jonin at the age of 12, and Shisui did not break the record, proving that he became a Jonin at the latest age of 13. In the third battle, Shisui scared off Ao, but at that time Ao was the veteran Jonin, and was scared off by Chunin's Shisui. It was more reasonable for Jonin to be scared off because Mangekyō owned it, so he was born in Konoha 37. Chapter 9 War breaks out. Shisui, Uchiha's future. Advertisement. Only, Uchiha Kagami only gave her 2 symbolic beatings. Then walk through the courtyard and enter the home. The layout of the home is simple and plain. The living room and dining room are integrated. There is 1 master bedroom on the first floor and 3 master and secondary bedrooms on the second floor. On the wall of the living room on the first floor, a gray and white photo frame hung. Inside the photo frame is a girl who is only about 15 years old. She has a very cute nose and big eyes, and is wearing a high ponytail. The moment I saw this photo, Uchiha Kagami was stunned, and the memories in his mind were tumbling. The girl in the portrait is none other than his wife who had passed away for 10 years. She had just turned 15 that year. The cause of death is also very simple, he died while performing a mission. Even though the ninja world has been at peace for 20 years now, it does not mean that there is no friction between the ninja villages. The temptations, lurking, and assassinations of each other have never stopped. When his wife died, Zifeng was only 3 years old. He doesn't have much memory of his mother, but under the influence of Mirror's words over the years, he respects her very much. But he also felt sorry for his father. Father, I know you can't let go of your mother. Zifeng hesitated for a moment and said, but after all, my mother has passed away for 10 years. Don't you really feel lonely for such a long time? Now the war is about to break out. My son's strength is far inferior to yours, and Susu's body is weak. I'm really worried that one day Susu and I will walk in front of you and we won't be able to serve you and let you die alone. And with your current status in the clan, you don't have to worry about not being able to find a suitable partner. What size do you think is suitable for me? Jingfeng asked. Well, it depends on your preference. After all, you have awakened Mangekyō, and your prestige has long surpassed that of Uchiha Fugaku. He can find a 14-year-old, so you can find someone younger. Boom. Not finished yet. He was hit hard on the top of his head. Jing said seriously. Fugaku is a beast, I am not. Zifeng covered his head and said with a look of resentment. Then why did you let me get married and have grandchildren so early? I don't believe it. You did this for Uchiha's future. You know what the heck? I really do it for Uchiha's future. Uchiha Kagami said angrily. Have you forgotten the incident in which the Uchiha clan seized power through a coup a few years ago? Second generation didn't kill me because of my face, but what if second generation and I die? Just like this time, if I don't come back alive this time, do you think Hiruzen and Danzo will really show mercy to Uchiha because of a dead person after they take over? But, what does this have to do with having a baby? Zifeng couldn't figure it out. You are so stupid, kid. Uchiha Kagami said. It is the nature of the Uchiha clan to refuse to obey anyone, especially the elders of the main war faction. Even though they are weak, they are still clamoring for a coup every day to seize the Hokage position that belongs to Uchiha. If the second Hokage and I die, whether actively or passively, the second coup will happen sooner or later. By then, the Uchiha clan will suffer numerous casualties and may even be exterminated. Genocide. No way. Zifeng was stunned. He didn't expect this possibility at all. After all, the Uchiha clan is the wealthy clan that founded Konoha with Senju. Even if there is a coup, the clan will not be wiped out, right? You think I'm alarmist. This is the truth, Uchiha Kagami said in a low voice. So the Uchiha clan needs a genius who transcends family concepts to lead Uchiha. I originally placed my hope in you, but your talent is too poor, and Jonin will be the best in this life. Since you are dead, your hope must be placed on the next generation. Otherwise, why would I let you get married and have grandchildren so quickly? However, transcending family concepts alone is not enough. Strength also needs to curb Uchiha's desire for a coup. Advertisement. I think Shisui is fully qualified to do it. Quote. Zifeng scratched his head and said cautiously. Not to mention whether your future eldest grandson can fulfill your high expectations, but father, you have now awakened Mangekyō Sharingan, and Fugaku is completely unable to compete with you for the position of clan leader. When you become the leader of the Uchiha clan, and under the leadership and supervision of your father, Uchiha can completely curb the Uchiha clan's desire for a coup. There will be no need to rely on the younger generations, right? But people will die, and I may not always be the clan leader in the future, so it is also important to cultivate future generations so that they can inherit the future. Uchiha Kagami explained. Okay. Zifeng always felt that his father was not telling the truth. But he was very sensible and didn't ask any more questions. After all, His father's vision didn't need to be explained too much to him, and he didn't want to bother others. Of course Uchiha Kagami didn't tell the truth. He is well aware that the situation in the ninja world will be turbulent in the future, and Infinite Tsukuyomi is just the beginning. In the later stage, Otsutsuki was everywhere, and even Kagaya was just a mini-boss. He must improve his strength as quickly as possible, and Mangekyō Sharingan is just the starting point, until his strength surpasses Otsutsuki. What clan leader, what Hokage? None of them are attractive in the slightest, so it might as well be left to future generations. As for Zifeng's explanation of why he doesn't want to find a partner anymore, it's just because modern people have the memory of late marriage and late childbearing. Teenagers or 20s are too early for him. He doesn't want to focus too much on it for the time being. Above this. After all, the word, SX, has a knife on its head. Moreover, the war is about to break out. He must increase his favorability and strength as soon as possible. Women will only affect his progress in becoming stronger. The beginning of Konoha 37. The Fire Nation declared war on the four nations at the same time. Uchiha Kagami killed the Golden Horn, and his fame gradually became apparent. Fortunately, before the declaration of war, Cloud Shinobi village compensated Konoha 50 million taels, and wanted the traitorous ninja, Silver Horn, with a bounty of 50 million taels. Have to say, Cloud Shinobi village is such a thief, they didn't compensate 100 million taels. Instead, half of the bounty was allocated to Ginkaku. Whether he could get it or not would depend on who among the ninja villages found Ginkaku first. After a lapse of 1 month. Although the war continues, everyone is fighting with restraint. After all, no one wants to throw all their trump cards at the beginning. Therefore, according to past practice, each major ninja village first dispatched rounds of advance troops to test the confrontation. The advance force is mostly composed of ordinary jonin with a team of 100 people, 20 or 30 chunin, and 60 or 70 genin. The battle site is located in the junction area, Rain Shinobi village. When the advance troops continue to be depleted, there will always be those with weak background who will lose their confidence and throw the elite jonin squad into the battlefield first. And when it comes to this level of battle, the number of people will not be too large, and the winner will not be determined for a while. But also as the war intensifies, life or death, defeat or victory. These elites will become more famous as they fight, and gradually have their own names, becoming well-known figures in the ninja world. Chapter 10 I am the Hokage. Flying Thunder God Technique. Advertisement. And Uchiha Kagami. After awakening Mangekyō Sharingan, his combat prowess is comparable to that of Kage in the eyes of outsiders. Unless there is a battle against the shadows or a large number of ninja ambushes, Konoha will dispatch such geniuses to deal with it. Otherwise, most of them will stay in Konoha to recharge their batteries. But no matter what, Uchiha Kagami couldn't sit still. In this month, he gained a lot of favorability in the village. But the biggest gain is not the ninjutsu, but the 45,000 chakra points accumulated from killing Golden Horn and saving the second generation not long ago. Including the original 5,000, there are a total of 50,000 chakra points. Good guy. What is this concept? This chakra is equivalent to 5 times the peak of Kage level, completely surpassing Kage level. And it's still around the mid-stage level of chakra. If you get another 50,000 points of chakra, you'll be at the peak of Super Kage level. As for more than 100,000, that is the category of tailed beast level chakra. But is this possible? There is no doubt that this is for sure. After all, this is a war period. Taking advantage of this opportunity to challenge those elites, 2 or 3 times at most will be enough. With a huge amount of chakra as the foundation, combined with Sharingan, it is almost invincible. However, Senju Tobirama was stubborn and refused to allow him to go to the battlefield, so Jing planned to go to his big brother again to theory. This time he planned to use a different excuse. Arrive at Hokage's office and knock on the door. The desk was piled with documents. Senju Tobirama pointed around without even raising his head. Second brother is here. Sit down wherever you want and wait for me to finish my work. Okay, big brother is busy first. Uchiha Kagami was also polite. It was still the chair next to him, and he sat down casually. I have to say that Hokage was really busy at work. After 2 hours, Senju Tobirama stopped and turned to look at the mirror. What's wrong? Why do you come to me? I want to go to the battlefield. Didn't I say that? It's not time for you to come forward yet. Senju Tobirama frowned and said. Besides, do you think the advance force is just for attrition? Everyone has a tacit understanding of using war to temper young genin. If you go on stage like this, it will break the balance. It is not good to break the rules. Is that called training? Is that called youth? Uchiha Kagami retorted. Those are obviously young children, and some died on the battlefield at the age of 7 or 8. It's not that I don't let them train, but they obviously haven't learned anything, and there is no need to lose their lives. This is the fate of ninjas. Mirror, you are too kind. Tobirama said coldly. You are so heartless. What's the use of those freshly graduated kids who only know 3-body technique? Some of them can't even hold a kunai. They were killed by a detonating talisman. They can't even do the simplest ninjutsu against the enemy. Neither. Uchiha Kagami said angrily. Why not give those children some time to grow up? At least let them learn basic ninjutsu, even the simplest means of self-protection, is better than losing their lives because of ignorance. Aren't you really heartbroken when you see the bodies of those children? Of course I'm heartbroken. Senju Tobirama stood up suddenly, stared into the mirror and said hoarsely, I am already 60 years old. I saw with my own eyes that Konoha Academy became a ninja school. I sent away batch after batch of those children. I am better than anyone else. Heartache. You told me before that you could subdivide ninja high schools and teach children more ninjutsu knowledge. I understand that you are thinking about the future, but most civilian children are not unable to learn, but they have no channels to learn at all. Quote. Let alone a wealthy family like you Uchiha, even the great fireball will not be leaked. Small families have their own secret techniques, and no one is willing to teach them to civilians. The rank of ninja makes it impossible for them to rise. Advertisement. You want to sum up most of Konoha's ninjutsu and enter the ninja high school in just one sentence, breaking the hierarchy among ninjas. How can it be that easy? Your family is the first to disagree. Mirror, you are too naive. Okay, consider me naive. Uchiha Kagami also stood up and did not give in at all. Since the ninja high school cannot be established, then let me go to the battlefield and I will break the balance on the battlefield. As long as I am strong enough and kill the 4 major ninja villages and surrender, it will be over. Quote. That's enough. Mirror, I am the Hokage. Brother, you can't stop me, I must go to the battlefield. Chakra surges from Uchiha Kagami's body. Senju Tobirama was also furious, and the waves of energy from both sides collided with each other. Boom. Click. Click. The wooden boards and walls of Hokage's office were cracked, and the strong aura made the entire building tremble slightly. There is an enemy. Be alert. Quick. Quick. Protect Lord Hokage. Don't panic, it's just a dispute with Jinping Fan. Everyone, please step aside. Anbu panicked around him. He was about to rush into Hokage's office, but was stopped by Hokage. The Anbu all looked at each other in confusion, looking at the cracks in the Hokage building with lingering fear. They couldn't help but marvel at the fact that the strength of the mirror could be compared to Master Hokage. But little does anyone know. The mirror only exploded with 5,000 points of quasi-cage level chakra. However, this amount of chakra is only 1/10 of his total amount. If it were to explode completely, the Hokage building would collapse in an instant. Although Senju Tobirama didn't do anything serious, he was keenly aware of this, and the two sides were no longer at war with each other. Jing, your strength has improved greatly this month. It's okay, not as good as you, big brother. You are still too modest. My chakra perception is very keen. This level of chakra has surpassed many shadows. Senju Tobirama's expression softened slightly. No wonder you were so confident, but it's not enough. Once you go to the battlefield and the balance is broken, you can fight 1 against 100, 1 against 1,000, can you fight 1 against 10,000? Your chakra will eventually run out. And you don't know the Flying Thunder God technique. If you are not agile enough and you are caught, no amount of chakra can save you. Mirror, after the death of my eldest brother, I will be your only younger brother. Don't let me give away my gray hair. Dark-haired man. Brother, Uchiha Kagami looked moved, and her heart was filled with ups and downs. Over the past month, their relationship has deepened a lot, and it has become the same as the Senju brothers back then. Basically, as long as the topic of Hokage is not involved, the two of them talk about almost anything, but they will still quarrel if they have differences. Uchiha Kagami said with a serious look, I know your good intentions, then can't I just learn Flying Thunder God? With Flying Thunder God and my Sharingan, even if you can't defeat, it's still very easy to escape, right? Haha, do you think Flying Thunder God is so easy to learn? Then why don't we make a bet? If I can learn Flying Thunder God in 1 day, how about you let me go on the battlefield? Okay, I'll bet with you, second brother, you are still too young. Senju Tobirama laughed angrily. Do you really think Flying Thunder God is that simple? Although I know you can't learn it quickly, let me tell you the key points. First of all, keen chakra perception is a necessary condition, otherwise the space coordinates will not be found at all. Secondly, the caster needs to have very skilled control over chakra, otherwise he will not be able to engrave the Flying Thunder God spell with space coordinates. In addition, his own nerve reaction speed must be fast. Otherwise, even if you can barely sense the spatial coordinates, you will still bump into the enemy's kunai on the way to cast the spell. No matter how talented your kid is, you won't be able to do it in 1 day. Brother, I learned. Not finished yet. Uchiha Kagami raised his right hand. The chakra in his palm quickly condensed, and the Flying Thunder God spell was engraved on Hokage's desk. Senju Tobirama. Oh. Chapter 11 Mirror vs. Chio. You call this a fireball? Advertisement. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. The Flying Thunder God technique is an S-level forbidden technique. How could you learn it in such a short time? Your talent is so high. Senju Tobirama was stunned. For the first time, he had doubts about life. But looking at Hokage's desk, he saw a technique that looked very much like the Uchiha clan emblem. I have to admit that this thing is a genuine Flying Thunder God technique, but how did he do it? But as everyone knows, some people are cheating. Just now, the aura of Professor of the Ninja World activated its characteristics. As a developer, Senju Tobirama's logic theory is naturally completely correct, and he later learned it very reasonably. Open black lens bracket ding. System hint. Close black lens bracket. Professor Ninja, the aura characteristic is activated, and he is learning. The theory of ninjutsu explained by Senju Tobirama is logical. Flying Thunder God technique learning is successful. Close black lens bracket. After learning Flying Thunder God, Uchiha Kagami said humbly. My talent is not worth mentioning. Brother, you are the developer of Flying Thunder God. I think you must have learned Flying Thunder God faster than me, right? Indeed, you still have to practice. Senju Tobirama's mouth twitched. Frankly speaking, he is a man of his word. But after seeing Kagami learn Flying Thunder God so quickly, he suddenly realized that Kagami might have hope of surpassing the first generation. If he died, it would be a huge loss to Konoha. Before he could regret it, suddenly, an Anbu appeared on one knee, looking very anxious. Lord Hokage, this is bad. Just this morning, Hitaki Jonin led the advance force and accidentally broke into Sunagaku's stronghold in Rain Shinobi village, and had a fierce battle with the enemy's puppet master couple, Centipede and Lion Majesty. Note: Scorpion's parents have no names, just random codenames. Senju Tobirama frowned frivolously. What's going on? Shouldn't it be the genin training stage now? Why didn't Sunagaku follow the rules, and secretly sent out elites? I remember these two puppet masters seem to be very famous. Yes, those two are the son and daughter-in-law of Chiyo's mother-in-law. Anbu respectfully reported. But the reason Sunagaku did this was because their village was already the weakest and did not have that many ninjas at all, so they sent the puppet masters Centipede and Lion Majesty. Originally, my subordinates thought the situation was critical, but Hitaki Jonin used penultimate sword skills to kill the two puppet masters. Chiyo became furious and chased Hitaki Jonin in Rain Shinobi village. His life and death are unknown at the moment. Please let Master Hokage decide. Okay, well done. Senju Tobirama glanced at Uchiha Kagami and said solemnly, this kind of talent must not be lost on the battlefield, but sending other Jonin to support is too slow. I leave it to you, Mirror. Be sure to bring Hitaki Tsukumo back. Understood, brother. Uchiha Kagami looked solemn. The space between nodding disappeared into thin air. Rain Shinobi village. In the jungle, the rain kept falling. This Konoha Jonin has long silver white hair, a long ponytail, and a red triangle and white armband on his left shoulder. He held the white fang short sword tightly in his right hand and kept running away. There was no color on Hitaki Tsukumo's face, and Jonin's vest was in tatters, and he was already at the end of his strength. Leave me alone. The puppet activated by Chiyo. A large kunai was shot out, covering the past. Clang. Dang. Hitaki Tsukumo holds the short sword. Swing it back and forth several times to knock down the kunai. He used his flexible posture to avoid the subsequent kunai cover, but he was so exhausted that there was not much left in either physical strength or chakra. In a daze, he tripped and fell to the ground. Advertisement. Haha. God help me. If I don't kill you today, I won't be able to explain it to Shie. Just die. Chiyo's voice filled with hatred resounded. The puppet quickly approached, and a sharp blade popped out of its palm, heading straight for the opponent's neck. Are you going to die? Damn it. I haven't seen Kakashi born with my own eyes, and I haven't been able to train him to become the pillar of Konoha. How could I die in a place like this? Hitaki Tsukumo looked unwilling. At this moment, the shadow of death was already hanging over his head. However, at the critical moment, suddenly, a red light flashed. The sharp blade in the puppet's palm was broken, but the puppet still kept moving. Click. The abdomen split open and a mechanism popped up, and a big mouth studded with sharp blades rushed over. However, such a sharp attack was easily avoided by the man. He unhurriedly drew his ninja sword and raised his hand to split the puppet in half. Seeing the visitor, Hitaki Tsukumo showed an excited expression. Jing, senior, why are you here? Of course I'm here to save you, but don't use the word, senpai. We are about the same age, so just call me Mirror. Uchiha Kagami said kindly. But, you and Mr. Second Generation are brothers. It's okay, everyone has their own business. Good. Hitaki Tsukumo nodded. I couldn't help but feel good feelings growing in my heart. As expected of Uchiha Kagami, he is as approachable as the rumors. Open black lens bracket ding. System hint. Close black lens bracket. The favorability from Hitaki Tsukumo is +20. The relationship is upgraded from superficial friends to close friends, and 200 points of chakra and Hitaki's sword skills are obtained. Close black lens bracket. Hitaki's sword skills are good. Uchiha Kagami is very satisfied. The two of them chatted like this for several times. Fortunately, Hitaki Tsukumo's injury was not serious. He only suffered from excessive physical strength and chakra. He was placed in the tree hole behind him and borrowed a genin sword, White Fang. After doing so much, Chiyo actually stood motionless in the distance. She had heard of Kagami's name, so she was wary of the Uchiha in front of her. Kill the golden horn and scare away the silver horn. Also awakens the legendary Mangekyō Sharingan. Of course, most ninjas didn't believe the last rumor. Since no one could verify that battle except Second Hokage and the missing silver horn, other ninja villages naturally doubted its authenticity. But now, there is a chance to prove it. Chiyo asked bluntly. Uchiha Kagami, rumors say that you have awakened Mangekyō Sharingan, is it true? Won't we find out later during the battle? It's just that you are old after all and are far from your prime. Whether you can force out my Mangekyō, that's another question. Fire-style great fireball technique. Uchiha Kagami showed a faint smile. Black flashing light, hands quickly forming seals. Before Chiyo could refute Uchiha's arrogant remarks, he saw large swaths of flames coming from the sky. The monstrous flames covered the sky and covered the ground, like raging waves. Seeing this scene, Grandma Chiyo was stunned for a moment. With such a scale, you call this a fireball? Chapter 12 Arrogance is not synonymous with me, caution is. Advertisement. No time to think about it. Chiyo looked solemn and immediately took out the scroll. Raising her hand to inject chakra, 10 puppets wearing white robes appeared. This is her famous white secret skill, Shikamatsu 10 people. Puppet technique machine wind style. With Chiyo's low drink. The two puppets stood together, their limbs and arms merged. Granny Chiyo infused chakra, and a blue transparent light shield condensed, blocking out all the monstrous flames. Water blade slash. Granny Chiyo moved her fingers. Almost at the same time that the machine light seal escape was formed, the blue-faced puppet raised his right hand, and a high-pressure water pipe was drilled out of his palm. A sting. The water formed by high pressure turned into a sharp blade nearly 10 meters long. The sharp blade of water fell through the air and cut the opponent's body in half, but it quickly turned into smoke and dissipated. What? It's actually a clone. Chiyo's pupils suddenly tightened. While looking shocked, his fingers trembled slightly. It wasn't that she was suffering from Alzheimer's disease, but that she had almost never thought that such a wave of large-scale fire style could only be performed by a clone. And Uchiha Kagami doesn't know when. He quietly appeared behind her, and the blade of his right hand fell. Although Chiyo is old, he is very experienced in combat. His finger chakra line moved slightly, and two superimposed puppets blocked his back. A large amount of poisonous mist suddenly sprayed out from his wrist, covering the surrounding area. Haha, just poisonous fog and puppets can't stop me. Uchiha Kagami's mouth was sarcastic. Immediately hold your breath and infuse the right chakra. Zetsa, Zetsa, click. I saw White Fang's ninja sword immediately covered with dazzling lightning. The chakra blade covered by lightning style ignored the poisonous mist and cut the white puppet in front of him in half in the blink of an eye. But it's far from over yet. The sharp lightning style ninja sword slashed his back straight. Poof. Chiyo groaned, and a large amount of blood fell on the ground. She endured the severe pain to activate the chakra line, trying to get the remaining 8 puppets to surround the enemy. However, Uchiha Kagami had expected it. I saw the dark eyes turned into 3 bloody magatama. The seemingly sharp puppet attack was full of flaws. He easily avoided all the attacks and came to Chiyo again. The Uchiha clan is actually powerful, but just 3 magatama can push me to this point. It seems there is no other way. Chiyo's eyes were full of despair. The lightning-style chakra knife's damage was so high that it almost cut her off at the waist. This injury was very serious. Although she could use medical ninjutsu to stop the bleeding, the enemy would not give her any chance. However, for Mirror, this battle is boring. Because puppetry itself has a very fatal weakness. That is, except for human puppets, most puppet masters have almost no self-protection measures for their own bodies. Therefore, it is necessary to activate the puppet and keep a safe distance from the enemy at all times. Advertisement. For ordinary people, the endless attacks of the puppet technique are very sharp, but the covering saturation attacks are too few. In front of his pair of Sharingan, there is no difference between those puppets waving their sharp blades in slow motion. Although it is only 3 Tomo Sharingan. But with Mangekyō's eye power blessing, the insight is not comparable to that of ordinary 3 Magatama, not to mention that Chiyo is no longer at his peak. It's not that Chiyo isn't strong enough, it's that she is very unlucky. As long as the person she meets is not herself, then the chance of winning will definitely be very high, and she will not be defeated so easily. Okay, it's time to end. Uchiha Kagami looked calm. The ninja sword in his right hand fell again. The dazzling lightning-style chakra covers the blade and aims directly at Chiyo's head, leaving no chance of mercy. But, watching the blade fall, Chiyo didn't panic at all and allowed the blade to pierce his head. Just when he felt something was wrong, Hitaki Tsukumo, who was watching the battle not far away, was in a state of confusion and looked extremely flustered. Mirror, be careful behind you. Too late. Die, arrogant Uchiha. I am Sand Shinobi's Flower of Shinobi. If you don't activate Mangekyō, you will pay the price with your life for underestimating the enemy. Chiyo, whose head was pierced, turned into sand. And at some point, her true body quietly appeared behind the mirror, with 3 white puppets standing in a triangular formation. Click, click, click. In an instant, the 3 organs of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha suddenly opened. Chiyo injected a large amount of chakra in an instant. When the mechanism was opened, it turned into a ferocious tornado, and a huge suction force suddenly burst out. This is the white secret technique 3 treasures absorbing collapse. The powerful puppet technique composed of 3 puppets can completely crush the person or object being sucked under pressure within a few seconds. In Chiyo's opinion, even if Uchiha Kagami opens Mangekyō, it is too late. Her unique skill made the enemy's whole body compressed and unable to move, let alone forming seals to perform ninjutsu, so she thought the opponent was dead. Arrogant Uchiha, this is the price you pay for despising me. You Konoha will become obsolete of the times. A triumphant smile appeared on Chiyo's lips. However, the next second, her smile froze. Because the Uchiha Kagami in front of him suddenly glowed with white light. Her mind seemed to be invaded by something, and then her thinking came to a standstill without any warning. In just 1 second, the puppet that was infused with chakra collapsed and fell to the ground. As the tornado dissipated, poof, Sharingan's red light flashed, and a figure came through the sky. The white fang blade in Uchiha Kagami's hand cut her throat mercilessly, and a column of scarlet blood spurted out. Chiyo clutched her neck, Her face turned pale, and her heart was horrified. What just happened? Why did my thinking stop for a second? Sharingan's genjutsu. But I didn't even look at him, how could I be tricked? I can't stop bleeding, no. Sand Shinobi's future. Scorpion. I'm sorry. Quote. Plop. Chiyo covered her neck and fell to the ground. Blood spread all over the ground, and her face showed deep reluctance. Even if this flower of tolerance is buried in the sand of cause and effect, it will not be able to escape the fate of death. He slowly retracted the blade. Uchiha Kagami looked at Chiyo's body with a calm expression on his face. You were right. Most Uchiha are very arrogant. It is easier to underestimate the enemy with a Sharingan, but it is a pity, you don't understand me. Arrogance is not synonymous with me, caution is. Chapter 13 Sakumo, let's assassinate the third Kazekage. Advertisement. Hiss. Mirror, you successfully killed Chiyo. Hatake Sakumo came over and said in disbelief. This is said to be the wife of first Kazekage. She is highly respected and powerful in Sunagaku. You are so effortless. You don't even bother to use Mangekyō Sharingan. It's not that I'm too lazy to use it, but I'm just being cautious. Uchiha Kagami explained. Do you think the white secret technique just now is easy? The huge pressure is difficult to deal with even if Mangekyō is turned on, so I chose the safest secret technique, which not only resolved this move, but also solved the problem she. What secret technique? Can it be more powerful than Mangekyō? Spiritualization technique. Isn't this a unique secret technique of Kato Dan? How did you learn it? I learned this jutsu from a sparring session a month ago. Kato Jonin is a very nice person and doesn't mind me using this jutsu. What Uchiha Kagami said is true. In order to let the secret skills obtained be used openly and honestly. Not long ago, he had a friendly discussion with individual Jonin in Konoha, and based on 1 or 2 B-level ninjutsu, he pretended to exchange their unique secret techniques, as well as the authority to use and teach the techniques. Never underestimate B-level ninjutsu. Because there is a large hierarchy of ninjas, the channels for civilian ninjas to learn ninjutsu are very narrow, or even if they are available, it is difficult. Do you think civilian ninjas don't want to learn? Who doesn't want to master a few more ninjutsus if they have a little bit of talent? Even a genius like Hatake Sakumo is in a dilemma. It's not that he doesn't want to learn more ninjutsu, but that he simply has no place to learn it. So that, in his spare time, he kept practicing his sword skills. And he used the original, Hatake sword technique, to kill Scorpion's parents, and the name, Konoha's White Fang, became famous in the ninja world. Kato was in a similar situation, but he died young before he could become famous. As for other learning channels, of course there are. Ninjas with strong talents can become apprentices, such as Konoha Sanin, who will soon become famous in the ninja world. Tsunade himself comes from the Senju clan, not to mention, Jiraiya and Orochimaru are properly civilians, but he became a disciple of Sarutobi Hiruzen, broke the shackles of the ninja class, and learned various advanced ninjutsu. On the other hand, level B is already a Jonin difficulty technique. On the battlefield, 1 more ninjutsu means 1 more chance to save one's life. Therefore, without any ninjutsu learning channel, Kato Dan and the others are very grateful to Uchiha Kagami and do not feel that this transaction is a loss. And the spiritualization technique. No, this can no longer be called a secret technique. It's forbidden technique, no doubt, a proper S-class forbidden technique. Because this technique is the only forbidden technique in the ninja world that directly affects the soul. It can separate its own spirit and body, turn into a spirit body and invade the enemy's spiritual space, controlling the enemy's spirit and causing it to collapse internally and die. Certainly, this is just the most basic way to kill enemies. Because the spirit body itself possesses the will of the caster, it can complete the invasion without a medium at all, thus causing the enemy's consciousness to stagnate for a long or short time. This is the terrifying part of spiritual technique. You must know that even Sharingan's illusion activates chakra through visual contact, thereby releasing spiritual invasion through the eyes. Another example is Fukasaku and Shima's Genjutsu, Toad singing, and Tayuya's Dream Sound Lock, both of which require hearing to complete the mental invasion. Other Genjutsu have similar 5-sense conditions in order to achieve the conditions for the Genjutsu to be successful. Advertisement. Lingua technique is completely different. Physical attacks are ineffective against spiritual bodies, and no one can defend against them. Moreover, the speed of the spirit body was astonishing. Chiyo was killed by Uchiha Kagami in an instant without even reacting. In addition, after becoming a spirit, one can still sense the soul. No matter how far the distance is, even if the target location is not known, the destination can be reached at an extremely fast speed. Moreover, the caster can confirm the other party's life or death or convey thoughts from a distance based on his or her own thoughts. As for why Kato Dan died young, this is actually very simple. Or because of chakra, most civilian ninjas have very little chakra. A person like Naruto who can easily have thousands of clones is even rarer, and Kato Dan, as a Jonin, only has 2,000 chakra points at most. The chakra consumed by the spiritualization technique is not that much, but it is also quite a lot. In the original work, the Second Ninja War broke out. Kato Dan was on the battlefield. With a scarcity of chakra, it was almost impossible for him to kill people from a distance, and his body without the ability to resist was his biggest weakness. It is reasonable for the enemy to see the opportunity. As for the Fourth Ninja War, if it weren't for the Dream Ambassador Kato, the wireless Wi-Fi provided by Kato Dan. Otherwise, no matter how fast he turned into a spirit, with his little chakra, he would never be able to reach another battlefield and save Tsunade from Madara. Of course, the potential of the spiritualization technique has yet to be tapped. In the future, it may not be possible to cooperate with Sharingan and gradually develop more pervert abilities, but it cannot be said that this technique is stronger than Mangekyō. After all, it was too late to open Mangekyō at that time. And before you advance to the Eternal Eye, you will easily go blind if you use it too many times, so avoid it if you can. As for the Flying Thunder God technique, it's normal to hide it as a trump card. Coupled with the other ninjutsu he currently masters, there is really no way to break away from the control of 3 treasures, and at the same time pose a fatal threat to Chiyo. But there is no doubt that, whether it was Tsukumo who killed Scorpion's parents or Kagaya who killed Chiyo, the 2 young people, who are only in their 20s, will no longer be unknowns. Jing Yuan has a good record and his prestige will be even greater than before. Brother Kagami, should we go back? Hatake Tsukumo asked. I don't think it's needed for the time being. Mirror. Hatake Tsukumo considered for a moment and said, you and I have enough military exploits, and Granny Chiyo's death is beneficial to Konoha, but this person's status in Sunagaku is too high, and it is very likely to anger the third Kazekage. In addition, there are still a lot of remaining Sunagaku advance teams nearby. Why don't we go back to the village and report the information to Master Hokage before making a decision? After all, Master Hokage has not issued other attack orders, what do you think? But Tsukumo, the battlefield is adaptable. Uchiha Kagami said with stern eyes. For you and me personally, the battle achievements are enough, and for Konoha, the battle situation is favorable. But it is far from enough. We need to decide the outcome with one blow and win or lose. Since Chiyo's death will anger the third Kazekage, why don't you and I use our plan to destroy the remaining Sand Shinobi advanced troops? We deliberately let the fish that slipped through the net go back and spread the news, waiting for Sunagaku's shadow to take the bait. You mean, that's right. How about we assassinate the third Kazekage? Note. In the 37th year of Konoha, Rasa was just 15 years old and not yet the Kazekage. Chapter 14. Bare feet are not afraid of wearing shoes, naked conspiracy. Advertisement. Quote exclamation mark quote. Dark. Assassination of the third Kazekage. Hatake Tsukumo's breathing quickened. His heart beat uncontrollably faster, but he still lowered his voice and looked panicked. Brother Jing, are you crazy? That is the being who was known as the strongest Kazekage. Even Onoki Dono of Iwagakure praised the opponent's magnet style for being infinitely attackable. Only his dust release can fight with it. Isn't this going to die? No, why are you going to die? Uchiha Kagami said seductively. Have you forgotten that I killed Chiyo without even opening Mangekyō? No matter how powerful the third Kazekage is, can it withstand the attack of you and me? Your sword skills are strong enough to help me create chance. You may not be able to let the third Kazekage fall under my illusion. To be honest, if I fall for this illusion, I will die. Even if Onoki comes, you know how I am. I will never do anything I am not sure about. But, what if it fails? I never care about my own life, as long as I can protect Konoha, but once the third Kazekage escapes, it will definitely anger other ninja villages. If other Kage join the battlefield, the battle will be completely out of control. Hatake Tsukumo worriedly said. Brother Kagami, I hope the victory in this battlefield belongs to Konoha. But once the battle gets out of control, Konoha's defeat will make many people homeless. This is too risky. I think I will go back and talk to Lord Hokage first. Discuss before making a decision. You can't go back, the opportunity is fleeting. Uchiha Kagami said in a low voice. Once Sunagaku reacts, he will definitely be the first to counterattack. Even if the village's strength can withstand it, how many lives of young ninjas will be lost? Like you, I also want to protect Konoha. If our plan succeeds, without the strongest Kazekage, Sunagaku is destined to be defeated. Only 1 month after the war started, the 5 major ninja villages surrendered to one side. The 4 major ninja villages are destined to be frightened, and the balance of victory will tip to the Konoha. Tsukumo, aren't you not moved? Me. Hatake Tsukumo looked struggling. Of course he was moved, but he didn't want to violate the ninja code. After all, second generation didn't give any orders at all, but Jing was his savior, and the two of them fell in love like close friends. He didn't even want to watch his friend take risks. Brother Jing, I'll go with you. Brothers. Uchiha Kagami smiled. He was not surprised by Tsukumo's decision. Because Hatake Tsukumo himself is a very emotionally complex person, he can do anything to complete the task, but he can also give up his ninja duties for his friends. But at the same time, he is also more likely to take advantage of others. It's easy to get caught up in emotional struggles and develop depression. In the original book, he gave up the mission to save his partner, was condemned by the high-level officials of Konoha, was despised by the people in the village, and even his partner condemned him. In the end, Tsukumo committed suicide due to depression, using death to escape reality. But the difference this time is that even if the assassination plan fails, it won't hurt because he still has the Flying Thunder God technique, which is enough to make him invincible. And Senju Tobirama is in power, plus his own prestige. There will never be any bad public opinion in the village, not to mention that their military exploits are still there, so the risk is actually very low. Low risk, high returns. Once you kill the third generation, your prestige skyrockets again. Advertisement. The accumulated favorability will greatly improve the strength, and the small goal of Super Shadow Peak will be achieved. Then take advantage of the war to challenge Onoki, Third Hokage and others, as long as Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama don't show up. There are only a handful of people in the ninja world who can fight with him, so he can be as wild as he wants. Just as the two were discussing the assassination plan, a large number of Sand Shinobi ninjas appeared, and when they saw Chiyo's body, they were all angry and gnashing their teeth. Ah, Chiyo-sama is dead. Damn Konoha ninjas, you are so arrogant. Brothers, come here, kill both of them and avenge Chiyo-sama. Quote. Hatake Tsukumo snorted coldly. Pull out the white fang and charge in. His body is agile and fast, making him impossible to capture. Poof, poof. The white fang blade turned into white light. Under the night rain, they quickly harvested the enemy's lives. Coupled with Uchiha Kagami's Sharingan, this advance force suffered heavy casualties, and after a while only one person was deliberately let go. There were almost 60 corpses all over the ground. Hatake Tsukumo restrained the corpse, with a puzzled look on his face. These Sand Shinobi ninjas are obviously not strong, why do they have to die? Even Chiyo was killed by you, do they think they can beat us? Also, when I broke into the advance forces station before, the ninjas in Sunagakure were like crazy. Some of them hugged me with the detonating talisman attached, as if they were not afraid of death at all. Brother Jing, why do you think it is? Quote. Because they have no choice. What's the meaning? Among the 5 great ninja villages, Sunagakure's land is the most barren. The year-round wind and sand make it difficult for the village to develop. Their village's strength is at the bottom among the 5 great ninja villages, so they are the least afraid of death. Since we're at the bottom, shouldn't we be more timid? Hatake Tsukumo scratched his head. Let me ask you a question. If Konoha doesn't take the initiative to declare war this time, which village do you think will be the first to provoke a war? Cloud Shinobi Village or Sunagakure? Cloud Shinobi Village is a military power after all, and Sunagakure's Santo Kazekage is very cunning and may start a war. Wrong, it's Sunagakure. Why? Because bare feet are not afraid of wearing shoes. Uchiha Kagami shook his head. Sunagakure is too barren, so barren that there is no room left to train more ninjas. Just like this time, they simply don't have enough advanced troops to consume the enemy's combat power. There are not enough elite jonin to compete with other villages, but it is precisely because they have nothing that they dare to take risks and break the balance of the battle. It doesn't matter even if the advanced troops are lost, but if they win, they will gain blood. Other ninja villages have much more heritage than Sunagakure, but they are worried about losing too much. Then why are you so sure that the third Kazekage will come? Hatake Tsukumo asked. Because the price Sunagakure can afford does not include Centipede, Lion Majesty, Flower of Shinobi. He third Kazekage would never have imagined that you can kill 2 elite puppet masters, and I can kill Granny Chiyo. Uchiha Kagami said calmly. Such a price is enough that Sunagakure may not be able to recover for more than 10 years, and he is known as the strongest Kazekage, so he must do something, otherwise his authority as a kage will be shaken. Quote. And this man is Chiyo's younger brother and the Ebizo of Sand Shinobi's top brass. Once third Kazekage learns that his enemy is waiting for him to take the bait, he has no choice but to come even if he knows it is a trap. This is a naked conspiracy. Chapter 15 The Strongest Wind Shadow. Magnet-style Shitetsu Shigur. Advertisement. The Land of Wind, Sunagakure. The atmosphere in the Fungying building was extremely solemn at the moment. Because not long ago, they just received the death of 2 elite puppet masters, and they are still recovering. But they are more angry. That's right, even as the bottom of the 5 great ninja villages. They were still angry because they had very few ninjas to begin with, and training puppet masters cost a lot of resources. Now that we have lost 2 puppet masters, who can bear it? Those who are barefoot are not afraid of those who wear shoes. We are just some ninjas, and you still kill them. This is unbearable. Konoha is simply too deceptive. I suggest Kazekage-sama to dispatch immediately and catch them off guard before they can react. That's right, kill the jonin named Hatake Tsukumo first and get some interest back. Quote. Everyone quarreled constantly. They didn't stop until third Kazekage spoke. Ebi, what suggestions do you have? It is not appropriate for Kazekage-sama to go out for the time being. After all, my sister has begun to hunt down Hatake Tsukumo. According to the intelligence of the spies, that man has experienced a battle and is exhausted. I think this jonin of Konoha must die. Ebizo showed a confident smile, but this interest is not enough. That jonin was not outstanding in Konoha before, but he was able to kill the 2 puppet masters, Centipede and Lion Majesty, which is enough to prove that Konoha is invincible. Measurement. But Konoha will definitely not sit back and watch Hatake Tsukumo die, and will definitely send people to rescue him. The supporter must have a certain status in Konoha, but his strength will definitely not be as good as second Hokage. With my sister's strength, as long as the second Hokage doesn't come in person and everyone else dies one by one, then the loss of the 2 elite jonin, even Konoha can't bear it, and I, Sunagakure, can still save my face. Third Kazekage deeply agreed. What Ebi Lao said makes sense, given Elder Chiyo's strength. As long as the second generation doesn't come here in person, no one will be her opponent. The white secret technique has been famous in the ninja world for many years, and even ordinary ninjas really can't deal with it. We can just sit back and wait for the good news. Kazekage-sama, it's not good. Chiyo-sama failed in his pursuit of Hatake Tsukumo and was killed by Konoha's Uchiha Kagami. Our advance troops were almost completely wiped out, and I was the only one who escaped. Not finished yet. Suddenly someone broke in. The man looked angry and flustered, but he did not show off and conveyed the information he had just obtained. What? Chiyo is dead. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Third Hokage and Ebizo both stood up. The latter was more excited and angry than the former. After all, as Chiyo's biological brother, he could hardly believe that this information was true. But the facts cannot be changed. After verification, Granny Chiyo was indeed dead. Uchiha Kagami, you and I are at odds with each other. Ebizo was filled with grief and anger, with tears in his eyes. Master Kazekage, please go to the battlefield immediately and kill Uchiha Kagami of Konoha. I am not doing it for my own selfish reasons, but the loss of Sunagaku is too great and we cannot bear it. But, you forgot that Uchiha Kagami and Hitaki Sakumo almost wiped out the advanced troops, but only one person was left to report back. This is obviously wrong. This is the enemy deliberately tempting me. Third Kazekage hesitated. But so what? You are the strongest Kazekage. Your magnet style is invincible in the ninja world. Even the third Tsuchikage doesn't dare to underestimate you. How can two Jonin be your opponent? Advertisement. Quote. Third Kazekage was speechless. You just said that your sister will win if she takes action. As a result, I was immediately counterattacked, and now I was asked to deliver it. I was really convinced. Besides, that Uchiha Kagami is no ordinary Jonin. The existence that can kill Golden Horn and scare away Silver Horn, but now that Chiyo has died in his hands, even the strongest Kazekage is worried about overturning. To be honest, he really didn't want to go. Seeing Third Kazecage's hesitation, Ebizo burst into tears and almost knelt down to beg him. Master Kazekage, I have dedicated so many years to Sunagaku. There is hard work without credit. Now that my family member is dead, who else in the village can take on this important responsibility? You are the only one. I'm not doing it for selfish reasons, but the cost of our losses is too great, and there is no powerful Jonin left in the village. Once the news leaks, the people will not trust it, and the village will fall into turmoil. Woo-woo. We have to give everyone an explanation, and this explanation can only be made by you. It can't be me who is engaged in intelligence, right? Of course. If you insist on letting me go, I can accompany you. I'm not afraid of sacrifice, I'm just afraid of being stabbed in the spine after death. Woo-woo. Quote. Ebizo's words. The face of Third Kazekage is getting more and more stinky. This old guy and Chiyo are highly respected in the village, and no one disbelieves them, resulting in no high-level objection. Plus there aren't many Jonin in Sunagaku. And he has the magnet style to use his flying ability. Based on the above facts, there is really no one more suitable than him. Now, he was stuck here and couldn't get down. There is only one choice now, go to the battlefield. He was too lazy to argue with Ebizo, and immediately the sand iron wings appeared from behind, and flew straight to the battlefield of Rain Shinobi village with a flap of wings. Certainly, he certainly wasn't completely forced. It's more for the village, because what Ebizo said is right. The losses to the village were too great, the advanced troops were almost wiped out, 2 puppet masters were lost, and the highly respected Chiyo Granny was also killed one after another. The village must be given an explanation. And the reason why he dared to come was because he didn't think he would lose. After all, he is known as the strongest Kazekage in history. Magnet style is both offensive and defensive. Even if he cannot win, he has the confidence to retreat. With the blessing of sand iron wings, he soon arrived at the battlefield and immediately saw 2 young men. One was wearing a standard Jonin green vest, and the other was wearing an old-style gray armor. The former looked tense, but the latter was very calm. But the 2 men had extraordinary temperament and were not afraid. Uchiha Kagami smiled. You are indeed known as the strongest Kazekage. You really dare to put yourself in danger. Are you really not afraid to explain here? If even you die, Sunagaku may exist in name only. The ninjas of Sunagaku are not afraid of death, let alone sacrifice. Third Kazekage showed an expression of appreciation, but soon his murderous intention burst out. I am different from some old man who only knows how to talk. Besides, I don't think I will die. On the contrary, as Konoha's genius ninjas, you are so brave. Do you want to face me? I have to say that you are very brave, but you don't know if you are strong enough. Young people, don't pee your pants later. Magnet Style Satetsu Shigur. Chapter 16 The Decisive Moment. Hitaki kill with one sword. Advertisement. The battle is about to begin. No long talk, Third Kazekage hands in hand seal. Under the stimulation of chakra, large pieces of sand and iron filled the air, turning into sharp iron needles and covering them. Uchiha Kagami dare not underestimate the enemy. Chakra gathered in the eyes, and the dark eyes turned into bloody magatama. Scarlet Sharingan turned left and right, avoiding all the iron needles with vigor. When he landed on the ground, he formed seals with his hands, and then opened his lips slightly. Fire style. The fire is extinguished. Hooray! Hurrah! In an instant, large swaths of flames spurted out. It's like a raging sea of fire, breathtaking. This is the truly powerful fire style. Although his current chakra is not as good as Madara, this fire style is at least half the size. What an amazing fire style. But unfortunately, my magnet style. Third Kazekage looked surprised. Immediately, with a wave of his big hand, more than half of the sand iron quickly gathered into a shield, blocking all the flames from the outside. But, the next second, a sudden change occurred. There was a roaring sound behind him, and the speed was astonishingly fast. There was a young man with silver-white hair who appeared behind the enemy at some point. He covered almost all of the chakra on the soles of his feet and the blade. So much so that the explosive power and speed of this move are very high. Logically speaking, the two work so well together that any Jonin who comes will die. But Third Hokage is now at his peak. Although such a flanking attack is sharp, it is not enough to make him unable to react. He did not turn around and condense the remaining half of the sand and iron. The fingers of his right hand moved slightly, using attack instead of defense. Shatai turned into a huge palm and grabbed at the opponent. Such a covering attack was very disadvantageous for Hitaki Tsukumo. Because he didn't master many ninjutsu except sword skills, he couldn't block such a sharp attack, but he was unwilling to let him avoid it. Haha, Lord Fengying thinks you are not afraid of sacrifice. But I, the ninja of Konoha, are still not afraid of death. Take my move, Hitaki one sword slash. A sting. Hitaki Tsukumo ignored Sunato and climbed up his body. After all, the Third Hokage was not in a defensive posture. All the sand iron was chopped open, and the white fang blade cut through the enemy's chest. However, what is unexpected is, the enemy's chest was actually covered with a layer of iron sand. The move just now was not enough to penetrate his body, it only made a shallow cut, but he was still slightly injured. Good. What a move, Hitaki. I thought Uchiha Kagami was the one worthy of attention, but you surprised me as well. I recognize your strength. Just die. Sand iron coffin. The trace of blood on his chest made Third Hokage furious. He has been in the ninja world for so many years, and injuries are commonplace, but he has never been injured by a junior. Although the injuries were minimal. But this is a great blasphemy to the strongest Hokage. Third Hokage was about to crush the opponent to death with one hand, but before he could do anything, Kagami's calm voice came from behind. Amaterasu. Advertisement. Along with, incomparably hot breath spurted out. Different from the flame just now, although the aura is not strong, it makes the scalp numb. Third Hokage turned around. Suddenly he saw that wisp of flame coming out of thin air. The moment the sand iron was contaminated, it instantly turned into a sea of black flames, and the sand iron was burned to nothing in less than a few seconds. Black flames. Could it be that this Amaterasu? Third Hokage's pupils suddenly tightened. Even though he was in his prime, he had seen a lot as a Hokage. Every village has more or less knowledge about the legendary Mangekyō Sharingan's abilities, and Amaterasu is one of them. It is said to be an eternal black flame. The ultimate pupil technique that will never give up until it is burned to the ground if anyone or anything is contaminated at all. Third Hokage did not dare to show any signs of neglect, and immediately recalled the remaining sand iron and blasted towards the black flames in front of him. But, Amaterasu is Amaterasu. Even if your attack is sharp, it's useless. After a while, nearly 99% of the iron sand was burned away. The little remaining iron sand turned into wings. In order to avoid the large-scale coverage of the black flames, he could only fly into the sky and stay in the air to avoid danger. Uchiha Kagami's eyes. It is no longer an ordinary Magatama pattern. Instead, it became a scythe and pinwheel shape, similar to Itachi's Mangekyō, but the pinwheels had barbs at the tail. He is indeed the Third Hokage in his prime, much better than a certain Hiruzen. Both the battle strategy and reaction speed are far stronger than I imagined. Coupled with the magnet style that is both offensive and defensive, it is no wonder that he is known as the strongest Hokage. Uchiha Kagami wiped the blood from her right eye. He couldn't help but sigh in his heart, the other party was stronger than he imagined. The amount of chakra you have is comparable to that of Hokage, but the amount of chakra cannot intuitively reflect your personal strength. It mainly depends on the strength of the ninjutsu mastered by both parties, their combat experience, and their respective reaction speeds. And Third Hokage is in his prime. The exact age is unknown, but the reaction speed is extremely fast. Although the cooperation between him and Tsukumo is not perfect, it is not something that ordinary ninjas can avoid. It is not surprising that he can avoid Hitaki's sword skills. However, in order to kill the opponent in the follow-up, Kagaya even used Amaterasu. Burn all the sand and iron, and before the opponent can react, use the spiritualization technique to invade the opponent's mental space. Then finish off the Third Hokage just like you did with Chiyo. But who would have thought? The opponent was actually able to retain a little bit of iron sand to turn into wings under the threat of black flames, and decisively distanced himself. Have to say, Third Hokage is quite powerful. Chakra may not be as good as Super Shadow, but with the blessing of Magnet style, it may be comparable to the peak of Kage level, or even Super Shadow level. As for Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara, the pervert of 9 tails cannot be used as a general example. There are actually only 2 descriptions of the Third Hokage in the original book. The first time is when Scorpion controlled the human puppet of the Third Hokage, and the second time was when he was reincarnated by Orochimaru in Pure World. The human puppet is controlled by Scorpion and cannot use Magnet style proficiently. Orochimaru's Impure World reincarnation technology had not yet been perfected at the time, and the Third Hokage's strength was only 60 to 70% strong. Therefore, the 2 miserable performances did not fully represent the true strength of the strongest Hokage in history. But the good thing is, most of Sand Iron was burned by Amaterasu, and the current battle situation is favorable. Uchiha Kagami looked up at the other party and deliberately said sarcastically, "The strongest Hokage, won't you be so scared that you wet your pants? Don't you dare to come down and fight me. Don't you? Without Sun 8, you don't even have the consciousness of a ninja. Lost it. Haha, there's no need to provoke me on purpose. Third Kazekage was full of momentum, lowered his head and said coldly and arrogantly, Uchiha Kagami, among the Uchiha I have fought against, no one is stronger than you, I recognize your strength. Next, it's time to decide the outcome. Chapter 17 Sand Iron Burial. Damn it, where is Sakumo? Advertisement. Bring it on. Uchiha Kagami's eyes narrowed slightly. I was about to do something, but my actions froze. He looked down and found that 2 large holes had been broken into the ground at some point, and his feet were bound by the sand and iron pouring out. As long as I have sand and iron, I can do anything. Uchiha, you are stupid. Crushing minerals from the ground to make sand and iron is a piece of cake for me. Go to hell. Sand iron boundary method. Third Kazekage shouted coldly. A large amount of sand and iron spewed out from the ground. And with the control of magnet style, these iron sands turned into sharp thorns, so densely packed that it was impossible to escape. However, before Third Kazekage could be proud, a large amount of chakra emerged from Uchiha Kagami's whole body. An unspeakable momentum rose into the sky, and scarlet skulls wrapped around the body, from the ribs, arms, and skull. Roll, Uchiha Kagami shouted coldly. The right chakra turned into a giant sword, and he raised his hand and waved it gently. A sting. In an instant, the sand and iron that enveloped the sky were all chopped into pieces. Uchiha Kagami, who opens Susanoo, crosses her arms and looks aloof, seeming to show the arrogance that belongs to Uchiha. It's just sand and iron, not even half as good as me. The power of that move just now is acceptable, but it is not enough to determine the outcome. Third Kazekage, can you still dance? It's not over yet. My magnet style is more powerful than you imagine. Third Kazekage refused to admit defeat, but his eyes became more and more solemn. The Uchiha in front of me is so powerful that it not only awakens Mangekyō, but even the legendary Amaterasu and Susanoo can use it skillfully. This has far exceeded the level of Shadow. Even he, the strongest wind Shadow, found it very difficult. But there is no way. As a Shadow, he never thought about escaping because he wanted to give an explanation to the village. This was also the realization of being a Shadow. Clang, clang, he controls more sand and iron. Forming cones and cylinders, constantly bombarding each other. However, Susanoo blocked them all easily, and was unable to even force the opponent back, which made him feel a deep sense of powerlessness. Why don't you admit defeat? Kazekage Dono, you can survive if you admit defeat. Uchiha Kagami persuaded. No, if it's a private challenge, I can admit defeat, but this is a battlefield. As a Shadow, I can't lose, and I will never admit defeat. Third Kazekage was extremely determined, gritted his teeth and said, Uchiha of Konoha, although you are very strong. But I must win. For my village, for the future of my Sunagaku, I am not afraid even if I die. Okay, I respect your choice. Uchiha Kagami sighed helplessly. But my heart was a little moved by this. Seeing that the other party is clearly able to escape, but still unwilling to do so. This reminded him of his elder brother Tobirama's original choice. If he hadn't rescued him, Tobirama would have died. And as Hokage, in fact, he could have chosen to escape, but he didn't. He didn't really understand it at first, but now he sees that Third Kazekage made the same choice. He may have more or less understood. As a film, what is the responsibility of this character? Advertisement. But it is a pity that the position of Hokage is not suitable for him. At least now, Uchiha Kagami just wants to become stronger, so that he will not be so powerless when facing Otsutsuki in the future. And war is the best way for him to become stronger, bar none. Personally speaking, they have no personal grudges, but it is a pity that they still have to face each other life and death. War is so ruthless and cruel. Magnet-style sand iron wave. Third Kazekage shouted angrily. He opened his arms and mobilized all the remaining chakra. Countless amounts of sand and iron continued to emerge. As he continued to crush the minerals, the sand and iron seemed to be endless and rushed towards the enemy. This moment, the sand and iron seemed to turn into waves. It actually completely changed the terrain of a 2 to 3 kilometer radius, and all the surrounding bushes were submerged, losing even the slightest bit of their previous appearance. Even Susanoo. They were all completely submerged and disappeared. But Third Kazecage's attack was not over yet. The sand iron wings behind him flew forward and landed quickly on the ground. Uchiha of Konoha, fall with the iron sand. Try my trick. Sand iron big burial. Third Kazekage pressed his hands to the ground. The turbulent chakra swept across the entire sea of sand and iron. Boom boom, boom boom boom. 10 consecutive shocks were transmitted. The entire ocean of sand and iron compressed exactly 10 times. This move was very impressive. The huge pressure actually caused a large number of cracks to appear on the surface of Susanoo's first form. It seems to be about to collapse. But the next second, the amazing chakra spurted out again. The skull-like appearance was covered with meridians and flesh. The blade in his hand became brighter and brighter. A large area of sand iron was cleared away as he raised his hand and waved it. Seeing this, Third Kazekage was shocked and helpless. Has this all failed? The legendary Susanoo is indeed extraordinary. This defense and attack have surpassed my magnet style. She truly deserves to belong to the Uchiha clan. Your Excellency Feng Ying, you are already very strong. Uchiha Kagami said sincerely, Whether it is combat awareness or enemy experience, you are worthy of the title of the strongest Kage. The magnet style is powerful enough to make you invincible. It's a pity that you met me. Quote. Thanks, stop saying nice things and just kill me. Kill you. Why? Why don't you kill me? I planned to kill you at first, but I have changed my mind now. I will take you back to Konoha village, and Mr. Kage will be the first Kage level, distinguished guest, to be treated by Konoha. Warm hospitality. Huh, are you going to insult me? You can't even try. Genjutsu Sharingan. Third Kage suddenly became angry. Just control the little remaining iron sand and pierce your own throat. But when Uchiha's Sharingan Magatama was turned, the spirit instantly invaded the opponent's mental space, and Third Kage fainted before he could commit suicide. Of course, Uchiha Kagami is not aimless. Because he discovered an important point, that is, it is not that difficult to kill a shadow, but it is too difficult to capture a shadow alive. At least, in the era without Hashirama and Madara, few people could do it. As the strongest Kage, he was defeated and was captured alive and brought back to Konoha as a prisoner. Think about it. This kind of shocking news is enough to shock the ninja world for many years. It must be much more valuable than a dead person. Just when he hadn't finished thinking, looking at the dilapidated forest buried by sand and iron around him, Uchiha Kagami suddenly thought of something, and then he panicked. What the hell? Where's Tsukumo? It's over. This guy just ran out of chakra. Could he be buried alive? Chapter 18. Capturing the third Kage alive, Senju Tobirama couldn't hold himself any longer. Advertisement. Etc. Maybe not buried alive at all. But he was directly shocked to death by the sand iron burial of the third Kage, right? After all, his injuries were not healed in the first place, and he was unable to resist due to exhaustion of chakra. This was entirely possible. Uchiha Kagami was a little panicked. It's not entirely because of this incident, it's because Tsukumo's original work doesn't seem to have happened during this time period. It was because of the investigation mission a few years after the end of the Second Ninja War. So here comes the question. Tsukumo mentioned death, was Kakashi alive? If Kakashi hadn't had time to be born, wouldn't it have been his own fault? Originally, he asked Tsukumo to act with him in order to increase Tsukumo's self-confidence, thereby changing his fate of depression and suicide in the future. Now fate has advanced and Kakashi is gone. As an original Konoha fan, Uchiha Kagami, this is so sad. Go away, Tsukumo, you died so miserably. I was the one who caused you to die. I'm sorry for you and your son. Uchiha Kagami had tears in her eyes. But before she could cry, she saw someone coming next to her. It was Hatake Tsukumo who dragged his tired body and said with embarrassment on his face, Brother Kagami, I'm not dead. You don't have to cry so sadly. Damn it, you're not dead. Of course he's not dead. Wait, what the hell do you mean? Holy shit, it means exclamation. It's applicable to any scene. For example, holy shit, Uchiha Kagami is so awesome. Oh, what do you mean awesome? The cool thing is that this person is very good, and the combination is perfect. It's quite interesting. If I have a chance in the future, I can teach it to Kakashi. Hatake Tsukumo said with a smile. Your son has been born. Uchiha Kagami asked doubtfully. Not yet. My wife just got pregnant last month, and she'll probably be pregnant in September. Tsukumo said honestly. Uchiha Kagami smiled and said, that's quite a coincidence. My Shisui estimates that in October, he and Kakashi can be brothers. Wouldn't it be wonderful? Your son is about to be born. That's a good feeling. Not a son, but a grandson. Ah, Hatake Tsukumo was immediately confused. After thinking about it for a long time, I couldn't help but complain. Then your son got married and had children when he was a teenager, and if you push it further, you got married and had children earlier than your son. You can say that, beast. No, a slip of the tongue. Hatake Tsukumo blushed and said righteously, you are still young and strong. When I was young, I didn't think about this. I only focused on completing the mission and serving the village. But since there is a generational difference, we can't be so casual. They can call each other brothers in private, but in public. Kakashi still has to call him uncle. That's okay too. Uchiha Kagami thought for a moment. Suddenly I thought this scene was a bit funny and couldn't help but look forward to it. The two of them returned to the topic. Hatake Tsukumo looked at the third Kage who fainted on the ground, and couldn't help but exclaimed, as expected of you, you actually defeated the strongest Kage, Brother Kagami. You are going to be famous in the ninja world. Isn't this the credit of both of us? Your sword is still very handsome. The sand iron of the third Kage is not something that ordinary people can chop. Mirror businessmen boasted to each other. You're still great, I'm far behind. Advertisement. Hatake Tsukumo suddenly said seriously, but speaking of it, why did you suddenly change your mind? Are you planning to take the third Kage back? Do you know how much impact the cage being taken as a prisoner will have on the situation of the battle? I know, I've thought about it. Uchiha Kagami said with a serious face, the shadow of the ninja village is regarded as a spiritual pillar. This is no less than an insult to Sunagaku's personality. It will inevitably cause dissatisfaction and resistance from other ninja villages, and may unite. But we accidentally encountered each other when we were out. After a friendly discussion, we invited Mr. Kage to visit Konoha village. He is a very distinguished guest to Konoha. How can he be a prisoner? In other words, but those Kage are not stupid, how could they hide it? Hatake Sakumo frowned. You don't need to hide Kage, you just need to hide it from other people in the ninja world. Most of the villagers in major ninja villages and even other villages don't care about this. Uchiha Kagami smiled slightly and said, it's hard enough for them to live, but do you care whether your Kage has been caught? Only Sunagaku will care. But true and false news are mixed together, and Konoha's reputation is preserved. The Kages of other villages will not unite as long as their own interests are not involved. This seemingly fake guest is meant to ease the situation, but in fact it is a deterrent. Or invite him to come to Konoha as a guest. Is he afraid? What if there are really people who aren't afraid? Then bring him as a guest. If I can defeat the first shadow, then I can defeat the second shadow. Uchiha Kagami showed a confident expression. After the third Kage was captured, Sunagaku, who was lacking in strength, would inevitably be the first to surrender. If there are still reckless men who feel unconvinced, then the second ninja village to surrender will be born. If they are not convinced, I will defeat them all. Won't the war be over? So no matter what the choice is, Konoha will gain blood. Hiss, it's so scary. Hatake Sakumo exclaimed. As expected of you, but what do you call the method of capturing someone as a guest just now? No name, it's just the lowest level of diplomacy. It's time to go back. We haven't gone back for so long. Brother should be unable to sit still. Good, Konoha village. Inside the Hokage office. Senju Tobirama was sitting on the chair, although his face was expressionless. But his hand kept holding the corner of the table tightly. It was obvious that too much time had passed, and he had no choice but to worry about his brother's safety. And the impact on Uchiha after Kagami's death. After all, Mangekyō Sharingan is of great significance to Uchiha. If the evil Uchiha is not protected, he will still be able to seize power. This is something that must be guarded against. But now the battle begins. Especially when Chiyo and others joined the battle, other ninja villages couldn't sit still. If Uchiha rebels at this time, it will really make matters worse. Sure enough, he should not be sent to the battlefield. But it shouldn't be. Senju Tobirama speculated in his heart. Even if you can't defeat Chiyo with the strength of the mirror, it is very easy to escape from the battlefield casually with the speed of the Flying Thunder God technique. Could it be that he is on top, planning to kill Chiyo, or... I haven't finished thinking yet. Suddenly, Anbu appeared, looking extremely flustered. Hokage-sama, this is bad. Kagami-sama accidentally killed Chiyo on the way to rescue Hatake Jonin. Killed Chiyo. Okay. Senju Tobirama hadn't finished having fun yet, and suddenly felt bad. Wait. What did you say? What do you mean by accidentally killing Chiyo? What else did my brother do? After killing Chiyo, Kagami-sama and Hatake Jonin jointly lured Third Kage, trying to assassinate Third Kage and defeat Sunagaku. What? Nonsense. It's just nonsense. Senju Tobirama suddenly became anxious. It's normal for Chiyo to be able to defeat him when he is old, but Third Kage is a top Kage level strongman that even Onoki praised. Aren't he and Hatake Sakumo trying to die? I shouldn't let him those who went to the battlefield. Master Hokage, Master Mirror wins. 1. Then why are you anxious? Kage-sama took it upon himself to bring Third Kage back, and now they are eating ramen together. Now the streets are in chaos. What the hell? Senju Tobirama was shocked. Wait a minute. This kid captured the shadow of the next village alive, and brought him back to eat ramen together. What the hell kind of operation is this? Chapter 19 Friendly Visit. Senju Tobirama's character collapsed. Advertisement. Etc. The focus is not right. How did Jing do it? Senju Tobirama looked dazed. His eyes were full of shock and disbelief. You must know that that person is known as the strongest Kage in the ninja world. Even with his Flying Thunder God technique and a large number of forbidden technique, he is not afraid of the opponent. But after all, we have never fought against each other. Therefore, one cannot be too cautious with such a strong person. As a result, after Uchiha Kagami killed Chiyo on the battlefield, was he still able to capture the Third Kage alive? Good guy. This news is really exciting. After all, there are two concepts of being able to defeat a shadow head-on and capturing a shadow alive. At the beginning, Uchiha Madara suggested that they simply blast all the 5 shadows, and either bring them back and imprison them, or simply kill them. Then use force to unify the ninja world. But he was rejected by the kind-hearted elder brother Hashirama. Now that Uchiha Kagami has brought back Third Kage, he has accomplished some feat to some extent, which makes Senju Tobirama feel relieved. Did Uchiha's madness finally appear on the battlefield? Otherwise, I really thought that your soul, brother, had been swapped. Senju Tobirama shook his head. The different behavior of Jing before finally made him a little wary. After all, although Uchiha Kagami was kind-hearted in the past, he was from the Uchiha clan after all, and his attitude towards the outside world was very tough. But now it seems that I am overthinking it. Kagami's Uchiha bloodline couldn't be any more pure, otherwise, no ordinary person would dare to be crazy enough to capture Third Kage alive. No time to think about it. He immediately cast Flying Thunder God and rushed over. Ichiraku Ramen Restaurant. 3 people were sitting on chairs, waiting for the ramen to be served. Uchiha Kagami returned to his former gentleness, while Hatake Sakumo looked nervous. Third Kage is a little reserved and wary. After all, it is not their own territory, even though Uchiha Kagami promised him a friendly visit. But this is war time. The second Hokage is notoriously cold-blooded and ruthless in the ninja world. Especially as long as he threatens the existence of Konoha, he must strangle it in the cradle. If he dies here as the cage, it will definitely do more good than harm to Konoha. There is no guarantee that the other party will change his mind, so be careful. Don't be nervous, Lord Fengying. Uchiha Kagami said with a smile. The taste of this ramen restaurant is great. Hiruzen and I often come here to eat, just as a casual meal. You want me to calm down? How about you remove the ninjas outside before you say this? Third Hokage pouted. My eyes glanced at the outside of Ichiraku Ramen. The originally lively streets were already deserted. As early as the first time Anbu discovered that Third Hokage had been brought back, there were a large number of Anbu and ninjas all around, and everyone looked tense as if facing a formidable enemy. After all, you are the strongest Hokage. When you are unrestrained, you still have to be on guard, but in my opinion it is of no use. It's true, this is your territory, what else can I do? Then let's have a good meal. Uchiha Kagami smiled gently. The greeting hand brought 3 large bowls of ramen, but the hand was obviously very nervous and the expression was slightly nervous. Uchiha Kagami showed a warm smile and reassured. Don't be nervous, this is the dignified Third Hokage. I have eaten your ramen, just take a photo and promote it. Opening chain stores in the ninja world will definitely be popular. Ah, can I take a photo? Advertisement. Sure. Master Jing, you are such a good person. The hand slap suddenly became exciting. Feeling extremely grateful to the mirror, Third Hokage was forced to take a photo. Uchiha Kagami joked. You're welcome, you can hang this photo in the store if you want, but if my descendants come to patronize it in the future, you can give me a fracture price. Of course. Thank you Master Jing. This is a lifetime free coupon for our store. As long as you come to my store, it will be free no matter how many people you visit. It's so fun to play with my hands. Immediately and solemnly handed Jing a coupon. After all, Jing itself had a high status. Moreover, he is the younger brother of Mr. Second Generation, and coupled with the disguised promotion of Third Hokage, it is difficult for this store not to be popular. Just a coupon. Future earnings are nothing compared to them. I have to say that Shandai's business vision is still very sharp. After receiving a free coupon of the same model from Naruto, Uchiha Kagami did not refuse, half falsely and half truthfully said, haha, then I'm not polite. Maybe more big shots will come to your store in the future. I can use this coupon. It comes in handy. Ah, are you serious? No. Shoda was immediately stunned. Before I could say anything, someone walked in from outside the door. The second Hokage wears white Hokage robes lined with blue tights and has 3 red marks on his face. As soon as I came in, Senju Tobirama didn't wait to attack. Third Hokage stood up and said solemnly, I have met Mr. Hokage and I have no choice but to take the liberty of visiting your village. I hope you will forgive me. Your Majesty Fengying said something serious, please sit down. Senju Tobirama was also polite. On the way to sit down, he glared at Uchiha Kagami several times. But the latter didn't seem to see it, but smiled and said, Brother, since you are here, let the ninjas outside withdraw. Mr. Fengying was frightened along the way. It is not polite to treat an honored guest like this. Quote. Well, it's up to you, let's break up. Senju Tobirama waved his hand. The ninjas outside the street dispersed and disappeared. This scene made Third Hokage look slightly sideways, and he had a deeper understanding of Uchiha Kagami's status, but he also had a better impression of him. This Uchiha, it seems really different from other Uchiha. After the 4 of them finished eating, they settled down the Third Hokage and returned to the Hokage building. Senju Tobirama's expression darkened. Kage, you actually captured Third Hokage alive and brought him back as a prisoner. Your behavior is an insult to Kage's personality. Do you really think other ninja villages have no temper? Even if you are really sure, you should come back and discuss it with me first. Do you still take me as a shadow in your eyes? Well, Hokage-sama, I am also responsible. Shut up. Before Sakumo could say anything, Senju Tobirama stopped him, and the atmosphere gradually became tense. However, Uchiha Kagami glanced at him and seemed to see through his concealment. Brother, you are actually very happy, right? If you want to laugh, just laugh, hold back the discomfort. Ha ha ha, great job, mirror. Senju Tobirama really couldn't stand it any longer. He looked up to the sky and laughed for a long time, completely different from his previous cold demeanor. It's not that his character is broken, but that he is really happy. Because when Uchiha Madara originally proposed to unify the ninja world, he actually didn't have much resistance and even wanted to promote it. But no matter what, I was severely rejected by my eldest brother. Now that Uchiha Kagami was able to capture the Third Hokage alive, how could that not make him happy? Advertisement Chapter 20 Famous in the ninja world. Konoha's red fangs. Advertisement. First of all, Sunagakur lost 2 puppet masters and Granny Chio, and the Third Hokage was also captured alive. Isn't surrender a matter of time? Certainly. On top of that, Konoha's morale soared. The situation of the war is naturally overturned, and the benefits are simply unimaginable. As for the risk, although Senju Tobirama is not as powerful as his elder brother, he still has the courage. So what if the other ninja villages are angry? Plus mirror using friendly visit as a diplomatic cover. Other ninja villages did not dare to join forces to attack. Even if the situation really turned bad, he, Senju Tobirama, would not give up. Not to mention, he also has a younger brother, Uchiha Kagami. They both have the Flying Thunder God technique, and the Forbidden technique works with Mangekyō. Are you afraid of them? Brothers work together to cut through gold, not to mention being invincible in the ninja world, and whoever dares to die first, then he doesn't mind helping the other person. Such is his courage, and Uchiha Kagami had already expected this. Because Senju Tobirama's courage is not comparable to that of Hiruzen, not to mention that the war has only started for a month, and the losses in Konoha are almost negligible. Therefore, it is impossible to object. And seeing second-generation Sama laughing, Hitaki Sakuma was a little confused. FCK. The relationship, was the quarrel between you brothers just now fake? Is it true that I am the only honest person to take it seriously? Quote. Senju Tobirama suppressed his smile and said with a serious expression, however, how confident are you that Sunagaku will surrender? After all, even the shadow is captured. Ebizo may ignore the cage, but it may not be possible for him to die. If you don't surrender, then let Third Cage continue to be our guest. Uchiha Kagami said without any fear. Besides, there are almost no decent ninjas left in Sunagaku. What can Ebizo do to defeat the enemy? Just open his mouth. If Sunagaku really doesn't know how to appreciate others, then destroy them. There are still too many great ninja villages in the ninja world, and reducing one will not affect the overall situation. Well said. We in Konoha are not afraid of challenges. Senju Tobirama then thought about it and said, but the Third Cage is in our village after all. If it suddenly becomes unable to sit still and causes destruction, it will have consequences. How about letting the Hyuga clan tap the acupoints and seal the chakra? It's not necessary. The cages have dignity. Once chakra is sealed, he may seek death. It's okay for the Third Cage to die on the battlefield, but if he dies during a friendly visit to our village, Konoha's reputation will be affected. Uchiha Kagami smiled. And he has already seen my Sharingan, and has been hypnosis-ed by me. He is hanging out with me now, don't worry. Well done. As expected of my brother. Senju Tobirama proudly put his hands on his hips, coughed a few times and said, but if you do this again next time, remember to tell me in advance. Otherwise it will be bad to cause panic in the village, okay? Definitely next time, comma. It didn't take long. All major ninja villages received this news. Chiyo was killed and Third Cage was captured alive, which shocked the ninja world. Uchiha Kagami's name has since become completely famous in the ninja world. Due to the awakening of the legendary Mangekyō, he is known as Konoha's Red Fang. And Hitaki Sakumo is called White Fang. Advertisement. The superb Hitaki sword skills and the ninja sword White Fang are famous in the ninja world. The two are collectively known as Konoha twins. Hey, have you heard? Sunagaku, the respected Chiyo granny is dead. It is said that she was defeated by Konoha's Uchiha Kagami in 3 moves. Oh my god, is he so strong? Shit, I heard it was an instant kill with 1 move. Mangekyō knelt down on the spot as soon as he fired Chiyo. Huh, why did I hear that Mangekyō wasn't even opened? Passerby didn't believe in evil. Is Granny Chiyo so weak? She must be too old, right? I think that Uchiha's strength is only average, I can do it even with me. As for Fuki, after Chiyo died, Third Cage was furious on the spot. As a result, he was not only defeated, but also captured alive. With such strength, you tell me, I can have S*X with you. Someone was not convinced. What, even the strongest Cage was defeated? Hiss, this Uchiha's strength is so terrifying. Tisk, it's indeed Red Fangs. Konoha's White Fang is not weak, right? It is said that he joined forces with Red Fang at that time, and his superb sword skills made even the strongest Cage have to avoid the edge. I guess it is not much weaker than Red Fang. Quote. I think so too, tisk. It is indeed the number 1 ninja village. It can capture the shadows of the other village alive without even having to send out any shadows. If you think about it this way, how powerful is Second Hokage? Scared. Quote. The rumors in the ninja world are so outrageous. While Hitaki Sakumo and Uchiha Kagami became famous, even the second generation project also gained a sense of presence, and small ninja villages all over the ninja world were very happy to eat. After all, it has nothing to do with them. On the other hand, the great ninja village was not so happy. This is too much. In the Rock Shinobi building, Onoki slapped the table angrily. Konoha actually dares to humiliate Cage like this. Are you really angry at us? I think it is necessary to contact other ninja villages to jointly deal with Konoha. We cannot let Konoha be so rampant. Wangtu said cautiously. But Konoha claimed that this was just a friendly visit between villages, and the Cage Dono also admitted it, and there were also photos of eating ramen together circulated. It seems quite friendly. Friendly visit between villages. Are you really calling me Onoki a fool? Onoki said angrily. Now is the time of war. Which shadow has the brains to visit other villages? Isn't this playing into the enemy's plan? It's obvious that he was captured. Doesn't Tang Fengying even have this bit of moral integrity? He actually ate with them. But now the public opinion in the ninja world is leaning towards Konoha. They believe that Konoha is peace-loving and has a great structure. Even in times of war, it treats Cage with courtesy. Except for Sunagaku, even many of our civilians believe that Konoha's cover-up measures are very effective. Wangtu said helplessly. Peace-loving. Big picture. Wasn't it Konoha who started the war? Okay. Then I will reveal their true colors and let the ninja world understand Konoha's wolf ambitions. Onoki's eyes widened, and a few strands of his beard fell off in anger. Lois hesitated for a moment, feeling a little embarrassed, but it's useless. The newly appointed Third Hokage Yun has already issued a relevant statement, but the public opinion is more biased in favor of Konoha. Cloud Shinobi Village North has been criticized miserably. Why? Because. Wangtu hesitated before he spoke. Sunagakure announced his surrender yesterday and signed a 10-year alliance agreement with Konoha, and the second Hokage Senju Tobirama also sent the third Kazekage back as agreed. Everyone praises the second Hokage for being broad-minded and thinks that the third Hokage is brainless and tries to intensify the conflicts between the big powers. The Shinobi village is afraid that the war will expand and affect them, so they madly insult Cloud Shinobi village. Third Hokage is probably furious right now. Chapter 21 Family Meeting. I, Uchiha Kagami, directly rebelled against the clan. Advertisement. Quote. Onoki was silent. It has to be said that Konoha was caught off guard by his clever move. Moreover, most of the bad effects of the war originally provoked by Konoha were wiped out this time. This kind of strategy made everyone afraid. The key is, Sunagakure surrendered, only a month later. Moreover, the third Kazekage also signed an alliance agreement with Konoha, which is undoubtedly a heavy blow to other ninja villages. And the culprit, it's the young man named Uchiha Kagami from the Uchiha clan of Konoha. Killing the long-famous Chiyo and capturing the strongest Kazekage alive, these impressive achievements are enough for any shadow to take him seriously. Onoki took a deep breath and couldn't help but become solemn. Investigate all information about Uchiha Kagami, including his interpersonal relationships, and eating habits, and by the way, that Hitaki Tsukumo. Yes, Lord Tsuchikage. Huang too considered it for a moment and said, do we still need to unite with other ninja villages? While Onoki was worried, the corner of his mouth slightly curled up. Yes, but we can't be the first to take the lead. Contact the third Hokage of Cloud Shinobi village. They previously compensated Konoha 50 million taels, and they should be happy to play this role now. Konoha, Uchiha tribe land. Experience this public opinion propaganda. Uchiha Kagami has also gained a lot of favorability, and her strength is also improving by leaps and bounds. In less than 7 days, a total of 20,000 chakra points have been accumulated. Including the previous 50,000 points, 70,000 chakra points are already approaching the peak of Super Shadow. Yes, I still have to do big things. I have saved 20,000 in just 7 days, and the favorability of chakra is still improving. I should be able to reach the peak of Super Shadow within a month. Uchiha Kagami is very satisfied. I have to say that capturing third Kazekage alive was too clever. The accumulation of strength brought about by this influence of public opinion is much more terrifying than the last time we killed the Golden Horn. Sure enough, the Golden Horn was too low. At this moment, Zifeng beside him was rubbing his shoulders. Uchiha Kagami was lying on a chair, drinking scented tea. At first, he felt it was awkward to have a son suddenly, but after taking care of him carefully, he became really sweet. Pouring tea and making the bed are all basic tasks. You don't have to cook your own food, and they also provide shoulder-crushing service attentively. It's really nice. Wouldn't it be twice as wonderful to have a grandson? Thinking of this, Uchiha Kagami asked, how is Susu doing? Is your body maintenance okay? Very good, father, don't worry. You have made too many jonin, and sent you a lot of supplements. I couldn't finish them all. The rest were given to Uncle Fugaku and Hitaki jonin because I was afraid they would go bad. Feng answered honestly. Why give it to Fugaku? Makoto is pregnant too. Uchiha Kagami raised an eyebrow. No, Fugaku has a cousin who is not doing well. I heard that she is pregnant and is about to give birth. She is the same age as Shisui, so I gave her some gifts. Oh, does the kid have a name? It seems to be called Obito. Ah, what's wrong, father? Shouldn't I give it away? No, it's a good gift, but it's not enough. Next time you go there in person, in my name. Uchiha Kagami replied. Advertisement. In addition to supplements, do you also want to give me any valuable jewelry? No need, wait until the child is born, it's too early now. Okay, father. Although Ji Feng was puzzled. But he didn't ask any more questions and continued to rub his shoulders. And Uchiha Kagami is actually just a gift without much meaning. After all, Obito is the main character in the future plot, but he is not born yet, so there is no need to pay too much attention to him. But there is nothing to lose by giving a gift casually to deepen the impression. Just when he was about to say something, suddenly, Uchiha Kagami frowned and raised his hand. Get out. A violent wave of air swept out. Bang. A young man wearing Uchiha clothes flew backwards. The flying body smashed the door of the courtyard into pieces, a trace of blood spilled from the corner of his mouth, and his expression was full of confusion and a little questioning. Master Jing, the patriarch invites you to attend a high-level family meeting. What do you mean? Uchiha Kagami looked slightly cold. This is my house, who told you to come in without telling me? You can't even knock on the door. Is the clan leader so rude? I am not the leader of the clan. Then you are. I am from the great elder. It's no wonder. I just said how could the patriarch's men not understand this etiquette? Next time, remember to knock before entering. Do you understand? Understood. That meeting. Go in a moment and let them wait. Yes. The man left angrily, but he didn't dare to say anything more. With Uchiha Kagami's current strength and status, it is not something that a pawn of his can offend. Anyway, he will submit these words to the great elder and clan leader unchanged. What the higher-ups think is a matter for the higher-ups. Watching that tribesman leave, Uchiha Zifeng couldn't help but worry. Father, I guess this meeting is to discuss the succession of the clan leader. If you offend the elder so much, will it affect your election as clan leader? You know, there are many high-level officials who support the great elder. Uchiha Kagami smiled contemptuously. So what if I offend him? The clan leader's election has always been decided by the clan leader, so what if his elder doesn't agree? It's enough if the clan leader agrees. How dare he fart? But if you ask the clan leader and the others to wait, won't you make the clan leader unhappy? What if you can't become the clan leader? Zifeng asked doubtfully. Stop the wind. Uchiha Kagami interrupted him and said seriously. You have to understand that when a person reaches the top of the ninja world, there is no need to worry about making anyone unhappy, but they worry about whether they will make me unhappy. Clan leader. Haha. If it weren't for you, Susu, and Shisui, I wouldn't care about being the clan leader at all. But I am a member of the Uchiha clan after all. If the clan leader knows better, I don't mind leading Uchiha to become stronger. What if the clan leader also doesn't understand? Ji Feng asked. If he doesn't understand, Uchiha Kagami said with a slightly contemptuous expression. No, he didn't dare to do that. After all, the clan leader doesn't want to see the genius who awakened Mangekyō rebel against the clan, right? Chapter 22. The Uchiha clan is basically hopeless. Advertisement. Rebel. Father. Hearing this, Zifeng's eyes widened. Suddenly I felt that my three views were being impacted. After all, as a standard Uchiha clan, despite being educated by his father in his early years, he is still inevitably bound by family values. Therefore, he never thought about betraying the clan or anything. Uchiha Kagami smiled half-heartedly. What? Do you think betraying the clan is too much? It doesn't matter. Tell the truth. There is no need for you and me, father and son, to engage in such nonsense. Father, I have always been proud of being a member of the Uchiha clan. I know that there are many people in the family who are aloof and have extreme behaviors. Zifeng knelt on the ground and said with tears in his eyes. It also has something to do with my own Sharingan, but I can't ignore it because I can't integrate into the collective of Konoha village. Especially in the police force, there are often conflicts between tribesmen and people in the village. Many people are ostracizing us. Even second generation is monitoring us. Of course, I know that if it weren't for your operation, my father, the family might not be as simple as monitoring, but I don't think we should abandon everyone. Those Uchiha who are talented and ambitious are still worth saving. But it's a pity that my talent has let you down. I ask you not to give up Uchiha, and don't give up the pride of being an Uchiha. Uchiha Kagami helped him up and spoke earnestly. Child, you misunderstood. I have never given up on Uchiha, and I have never given up on the pride of being an Uchiha. The emotions of the Uchiha are stronger than ordinary people, and they dare to love and hate, but it is also because Sharingan is more likely to go astray. I awakened Mangekyō Sharingan. I understand what Uchiha is better than anyone else. Even though some people in the clan have extreme personalities, they can still be guided one by one at a young age, but those who are old and stubborn cannot. Especially the Hawks headed by the Great Elder. They have gone through the Sengoku period and witnessed the founding of Konoha from scratch. Uchiha and Senju established it single-handedly, but they did not get the status they deserved, which makes them more and more dissatisfied. Even wanting to seize power through a coup, just like the one a few years ago. Zifeng was a little confused. Father, my brain is not strong enough. I can only put myself in their shoes and think about it. If I were the Great Elder and the others, if I had gone through that cruel era, what would happen to me when I finally shared the fruits? No, I would be dissatisfied. Yes, there is nothing right or wrong in itself. Uchiha Kagami shook his head and said helplessly, but the Uchiha clan is actually not good at governing. My eldest brother also saw that Uchiha Madara has no ability to govern. Senju Hashirama is actually similar, but at least he has a kind personality. For a newly established village, it is just enough to establish a good image, and Senju Tobirama can be responsible for the governance. Of course, Uchiha Madara's strength alone can definitely be a Hokage, but Tobirama cannot check him at all. It is said that Madara's younger brother Izuna has similar abilities to Tobirama. If the two work together, one externally and the other internally, it may not be impossible to unify the ninja world, but Izuna is dead, so Madara cannot be a Hokage. And the great elders are average in strength and weak in power, but they still refuse to listen to advice. As long as they become Hokage, Konoha will be in chaos. What the Uchiha clan needs is new power, and the great elders are out of date. As for why I shouldn't be a Hokage myself. As I said before, I was indeed tempted by this at first, but since I awakened Mangekyō Sharingan and gained a new level of strength, the position of Hokage no longer attracts me. Doesn't that mean that Uchiha has never been able to be a Hokage? Zifeng said a little frustrated. No, after all, the Uchiha family has a profound foundation and a large number of talents. Sooner or later, suitable candidates will appear. There are at least 2 or 3 candidates, but the time needs to be postponed a little, at least until my eldest brother is away. Father, be careful. I understand. You should go to the family meeting. Ji Feng gave urgent advice. No more questions on this topic. Good boy, I'm leaving. Uchiha Kagami smiled and touched his son's dog head. Then he opened the door and walked towards the ancestral hall. His pace was leisurely and not in any hurry. On the street, there are many shops open. These are private or family properties belonging to the Uchiha clan. Advertisement. Of course, Jing also has his own property, but it is all taken care of by his son and daughter-in-law, so he can be considered a truly wealthy family. Just walked a few steps. I saw enthusiastic voices coming from the pancake shop on the corner. Jing, do you want something to eat? I have freshly baked pancakes, come here and have a taste. Okay. Uchiha Kagami smiled gently. I walked over, took a pancake filled with meat and paid for it. These two people are husband and wife, one is called Uchiha Terrier and the other is called Uchiha Taiyaki. They are similar in age to Kagami, but they are both members of the Uchiha tribe without ninja talent. Since they live very close to each other, they are considered acquaintances. This shop, it was the old store that Sasuke often visited later. Uchiha Kagami kept mouthing while eating. The pancakes are good and the meat filling is quite big. Aren't you afraid of losing money? Harm, look what you said, it's all about what the tribesmen say is a loss or a loss. Uchiha scratched his head. By the way, Kagami, where are you going? Do you have any other missions? Forget it if it's a confidential one, I'm just asking. Uchiha Taiyaki laughed. Nothing is confidential. Go to the Ancestral Hall to attend the meeting. Ancestral Hall. That's not. Yes, we should be discussing the candidate for the new clan leader. Ah, then you want to be the clan leader. We husband and wife. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Jing, I just offended. Uchiha's eyes widened. His face was full of disbelief, and he bowed and apologized repeatedly. Although they are very familiar with each other, even among the Uchiha clan, the status of ninjas and non-ninjas are two different concepts. Now, the Mirror Demon was elected as the clan leader. They definitely can't be as casual as before. Uchiha Kagami showed a warm smile, his expression was calm and comforting. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Just call me by my name from now on. It doesn't matter if I am the clan leader or not. Besides, I may not be elected. That's not possible. How can you call the clan leader casually? And Uchiha Taiyaki came over and whispered, I think you have a high chance of being elected as the clan leader. Especially after you brought Third Hokage back not long ago, many people think that you are more suitable to be the clan leader. It's useless to support everyone. It depends on the attitude of the old patriarch. Uchiha Kagami shook his head. The kick he just gave was not casual. Although the man appeared to be a member of the Great Elder, it was actually the patriarch who called him to attend the meeting, which was a bit disrespectful to him. But this is the effect he wants. After all, it is Uchiha who needs him now, not him who needs Uchiha, if the old patriarch cannot tolerate this. It can only prove one point. The Uchiha clan is basically hopeless. Chapter 23 Then I will no longer be the leader of the clan. I will take my leave. Advertisement. Why do you say that? Because there are only two candidates for the clan leader, one is himself and the other is Fugaku. Fugaku's personal talent is sufficient, but his strength is far behind. If the Uchiha clan wants to get out of its current predicament, it needs a new clan leader with strength, vision, and talent. However, sadly, Fugaku does not have Mangekyō Sharingan and will not awaken even later. Note. The official settings of the comics are used here, and the TV anime settings are not used as a reference. And he, Uchiha Kagami, not only has Mangekyō Sharingan, but also has a close relationship with second Hokage like brothers. Especially since the last quarrel shattered the Hokage building, everyone no longer doubts the relationship between the two. Even if he can't become the third Hokage in the future, it is very possible to control this position. And the Uchiha clan, the difficulty of obtaining rights will be greatly reduced. It's not a problem to leave the Konoha police department. In short, there are too many benefits. To sum up, no one in Uchiha is more suitable to be the patriarch than him, but this does not prevent the old patriarch from being confused for a while. Uchiha Shrine. This place is where the Uchiha clan holds important meetings. Almost every time a meeting is held here, it means something big is going to happen in the clan. The place is not spacious but not narrow either. Seats are neatly placed on the left and right sides of the long table. Most of them have white temples and are of a certain age. Everyone has been gathering here for more than 10 minutes. Although these 10 minutes are short, for the easily agitated Uchiha, this can literally kill them. The Great Elder said angrily, Uchiha Kagami has no respect for his elders and even injured the people I sent. I suggest that he be eliminated as a candidate for clan leader and let Uchiha Fugaku be the new clan leader. Yes, I agree. This kid is too arrogant. The second elder also agreed. That's right. You're so arrogant before you become the leader of the clan. It's amazing to awaken Mangekyō. I also competed with Uchiha Madara at the beginning, and to be honest, it's just average. Quote. I heard the third elder say this. The other elders fell silent, and the atmosphere was slightly awkward. Who here is not an elite who survived the Sengoku period, and who has never seen Uchiha Madara's monstrous strength? Chopping a mountain is like chopping vegetables. Are you telling me that Mangekyō is just average? We are all on our own, just brag a little bit, it is too easy to accidentally injure friendly forces. After all, as I get older, it's painful to hold back laughter. Seeing that no one agreed with him, the third elder quickly changed the subject. Fugaku, do you think you are qualified to be the clan leader? I can, but it all depends on the old patriarch's decision. Fugaku didn't finish his sentence. Of course he also wants to be the clan leader, this position is so attractive. But he couldn't compete without Mangekyō, but fortunately Kagami was so ignorant of praise, so he just let the elders wait. You actually don't even pay attention to the old patriarch. No matter how broad-minded the former is, it's impossible that it won't have any impact at all, right? So as long as the clan leader hesitates a little bit, then he has a chance to be elected as the clan leader. I have to say that Jing did something stupid. Everyone looked at the old patriarch. But the old man in the first seat closed his eyes and meditated and did not express any opinions. At this time, the door opened and Uchiha Kagami walked in. But he didn't really step into the ancestral hall, but stood on the threshold, just standing quietly. Jing, you are so arrogant. Advertisement. You don't care about us, but you actually make the old patriarch wait for you. You know that he is almost 70. Why don't you come and apologize soon? The great elder just saw the mirror. He was given a slap on the spot. But Uchiha Kagami didn't even look at him, just stared at the old man on the front seat silently. Just when the great elder couldn't help but start to spray. But, what I never expected was that. The old patriarch opened his lowered eyes, moved his hips and waved, showing a kind and friendly smile. Here comes the mirror. What a handsome young man. Come on, come on. Sit over here, sit next to me, and let me, a bad old man, take a good look at you. Everyone, including the great elder, was stunned. Did he let Jing sit next to him? Don't look at such a small move. You must know that the position of patriarch is of great significance. For so many years, no one has dared to sit in this position, even if there is no meeting. Being able to let him sit next to him meant that the old patriarch didn't care about Jing's offense at all. Or simply say, the old patriarch didn't think that was offensive at all. Or is he still dissatisfied and planning to personally beat the successor? Ignoring the inner speculations of the elders, Uchiha Kagami walked over and showed an apologetic smile. I'm sorry, old patriarch, it's my fault for keeping you waiting for me for so long, but it's not necessary to sit next to you. The seat is too crowded and can't accommodate 2 people. The seats are too crowded, can't seat 2 people. Everyone was stunned. What does this guy mean? The old patriarch is old and has great prestige within the clan. Therefore, even if the old clan leader abdicates, he still has a lot of say in the clan, which can be regarded as a kind of supervision and check and balance for the new clan leader. Until the old patriarch passed away, or confirm that you have passed the inspection period before handing over the power to him. But the mirror actually said that it could not seat 2 people. Is this trying to express that he wants to monopolize power? And when I think about it, mirror's bad attitude towards themselves before. If this kid really takes over the power as soon as he takes office, will they still be able to sit comfortably in the elder's position? Good guy. This guy is very ambitious. There was anger in the eyes of the great elder, and he immediately said, Uchiha Kagami, the old patriarch lets you sit next to him because he cares about you. Why are you so ignorant of etiquette? A person like you is not suitable to be a patriarch at all. The great elder said that I are not suitable. That's right. Okay, I'll take my leave then. Quote question mark quote. The great elder's face was filled with questions. Don't understand what this operation means. But that doesn't stop them from being happy about it. After all, if Fugaku takes over, they will have more say as elders. However, before Uchiha Kagami could take a step forward, the old patriarch stood up impatiently, holding on to the armrest, while Madara grabbed Jing's wrist with her frizzy hands. Don't go, since you feel crowded. Then you can sit alone. I now declare the new clan leader to be Uchiha Kagami, effective from now on. Chapter 24 Uchiha Ku. Your son is qualified to be the patriarch. Advertisement. Quote exclamation mark quote. The great elder was stunned at this moment. Unexpectedly, the clan leader announced the new clan leader on the spot. And it seemed that he was begging Uchiha Kagami to be the clan leader, which made Fugaku and all the elders feel extremely shocked and incomprehensible. Why? Why is the old patriarch so anxious? The great elder stood up suddenly and became anxious. Clan chief, running for the new clan chief is not a child's play. How can you be so arbitrary? Yes, shouldn't we discuss it first before making a decision? The second elder also said. Furthermore, this kid Kagami doesn't respect his elders at all. If such a person is elected as the clan leader, the future of the Uchiha clan will be completely ruined. Yes, the patriarch should think twice. The 3 elders burst into tears. I wanted to kneel down on the spot, as if it was all for Uchiha. Unexpectedly, the old patriarch changed his usual expression and became serious. Shut up. Since I am the patriarch, then I have the right to decide who is the new patriarch. Do I not even have this right? Aren't you being disrespectful to your elders when you do this? Besides, why doesn't Jing respect you? Is it not that you don't know etiquette? You don't know how to knock on the door even if you send someone to do it. Don't you deserve to be beaten? Now, don't object to anyone. If anyone objects, then stop being an elder. Go home and retire. Don't think I dare not. Quote. As soon as these words came out, no one dared to speak. The always kind old patriarch now showed the majesty of the patriarch. Uchiha Kagami became the clan leader simply and casually. He supported the old clan leader on the chair next to him, and then sat on the head seat himself. I couldn't help but sigh in my heart. The old patriarch was not only not confused. On the contrary, he is very smart. Dang Duan continued to be disturbed by him, and as soon as he entered the door, he was made the leader of the clan. He directly overruled all the elders' objections. It's no wonder that this courage has deep prestige in the clan. Now, let's start the next meeting. The old patriarch announced again. The new patriarch Uchiha Kagami will preside over it. I will not express any opinions. Everything is decided by the new patriarch. What else do you want to discuss? Jing asked. The great elder suppressed his excitement and said, before discussing, I wonder if the clan leader can let me pay my respects to your Mangekyō Sharingan. Sure. Uchiha Kagami nodded. Chakra surged into the eyes. The dark eyes immediately turned into 3 Magatama, and the 3 Magatama stuck together and rotated. Scarlet barbed pinwheels were formed again, gorgeous and intoxicating, almost the moment Mangekyō appeared. The elders present were all excited. Okay, yes, it's this unique shape. It's definitely Mangekyō Sharingan, our clan's hope is here. Ha ha ha, ha ha. After so many years, our clan is finally going to rise. Ha 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 ha. The great elder no longer suppressed his excitement, and proposed excitedly, Clan leader, not only do you now own the Mangekyō Sharingan, but you also killed Goldenhorn and Shio not long ago, and captured the strongest Kazekage alive, which proves that your strength has surpassed its shadow, right? That's right, what's wrong? Jing asked back. Then we suggest that our clan launch a coup tonight, clan leader, and you assassinate second Hokage. The great elder said ambitiously. As long as Senju Tobirama dies, I, the Uchiha clan, can become the masters of Konoha village from now on. That's right. As long as the mirror kills the second generation, we can recommend you to be the third Hokage. The second elder said excitedly. Quote. Uchiha Kagami was silent. It's not an absolute surprise, but I had already guessed it. After all, the great elder, as a hawk, had launched a coup before without Mangekyō, but he had only done it behind the scenes. The puppets who exited were imprisoned. But there is nothing wrong with me. But now that Mangekyō Sharingan is here, how can it be possible to hold back on ambition? But the problem is that these elders were madly targeting me just now, so why do they think they would agree? The third elder couldn't help but have some doubts. Clan leader, are you unwilling? Well, I don't want to. Advertisement. Uchiha's mirror answered. The elders immediately became furious. Sure enough, I knew it. This guy is unreliable. He would rather abandon the pride of the Uchiha clan. You are not willing to abandon the personal relationship with Senju Tobirama. He is no longer an Uchiha. Clan leader, I suggest that his new leader be deposed immediately. Yes, abolish it immediately. Quote. The elders were all clamoring. The anger on his face almost broke through his skin, as if Uchiha Kagami had betrayed his clan. Even the elders who had always remained neutral before joined the trend and seemed to be too disappointed with the new patriarch. This moment, Uchiha Kagami finally understood. Where did these people get the confidence that they would agree to a coup? The result is still the same old clan concept. No wonder they don't care at all that it was just targeted at them, because in their eyes they have awakened Mangekyō. It is already an asset of the Uchiha family, so it should be dedicated to the family without any grudges. What I just said, it's no less than a deviant, and it's possible to be kicked out of the family. Uchiha Kagami was no longer too lazy to talk nonsense with them, but asked himself, Old Patriarch, now, do you still want me to make decisions? Have you thought about their ending? Quote. The old patriarch was struggling. For him, this was extremely difficult. What's weird is that Jing and the old patriarch are conspiring loudly, and the elders are still quarreling, as if there is an extra air person here. A full half-quarter of an hour passed. The old patriarch seemed to be relieved and sighed leisurely. You are the patriarch, you have the final say, but I just ask not to make them suffer too much. Good. Uchiha Kagami closed her eyes. Suddenly, a large number of ninjas suddenly burst in outside the door, all of them were Konoha Anbu. The leader, Anbu, wore a tiger mask, exuding the aura of elite Jonin, and showed ruthless cruelty on his lips. After Lord Kagami's report, the Uchiha clan rebelled. Hokage-sama issued a warrant to arrest Uchiha's top culprits, and the rest of the gang left. You, Mirror, you actually betrayed us. Ah, I'm not willing to give in. Damn it, fight. The great elder and others resisted angrily. But to no avail, they were all arrested. However, from the perspective of the old patriarch, there was no fighting or resistance. Jing just glanced at them, and the great elders and others all fainted. Not long after, he was taken away by the 3 Anbu who came in. It was obvious that it was just an illusion. The moment they saw Mangekyō, they had already been unconsciously trapped in the hallucination. The reason why the old patriarch could see the truth was entirely because he didn't look at him behind him. This is Mangekyō Sharingan. The moment you look into these eyes, the illusion of hypnosis is permanently created. At this moment, in the huge ancestral hall, only Mirror, Fugaku, and the old patriarch were left. After Uchiha Fugaku awakened, he saw the horror of Mangekyō for the first time. His whole body and scalp were numb for a long time and he could not recover. The old clan leader took a deep breath and couldn't help but ask, Jing, thank you for saving their lives, but the absence of all the elders may affect the operation of the clan's industry. Can you handle it alone? Let Fugaku be the deputy chief, he can help me share the burden. Uchiha Kagami said. Fugaku was very surprised. Huh. You have just become the clan leader, and now you have set up an additional deputy clan leader. Aren't you worried about me decentralizing power? Don't worry at all, the family has to pass on and change. Uchiha Kagami looked at him and said with a faint smile. In the future, as long as there is enough talent and strength, any Uchiha can become the clan leader. Fugaku, maybe, there is hope for your son too. Chapter 25 Forbidden Technique Master. Tobirama and Mirror's relationship improves again. Advertisement. Huh, are you kidding me? Fugaku was stunned, looking a little suspicious. Besides, I'm not married yet, how do you know about the son I gave birth to? What's your relationship with Makoto? It doesn't matter. Don't think blindly. It must be a son, or two sons. Huh, two sons. Fugaku became even more panicked after hearing this. Not happy at all, he always felt green above his head. Uchiha Kagami said solemnly, I'm leaving first. I have to go to the Hokage building and report this matter to the Hokage. Thank you for your hard work, Mirror. No, brother, please explain, don't leave. Fugaku was extremely panicked, but Jing ignored him and left anyway. But when he thought about the situation of the elders, Fugaku still couldn't bear it. Old patriarch, why did you allow Jing to do such a thing? Fugaku, the Uchiha clan is no longer what it used to be. The old patriarch sighed leisurely. We can no longer bear the trouble, but fortunately, although the second generation does not like the Uchiha clan, we have a good relationship, we can ease the relationship. But the great elders are too ambitious. If this continues, the Uchiha clan will be destroyed sooner or later. The thoughts of the young people in the clan can still be guided to change, but the great elders and others will not listen to any suggestions at all. Even an old man like me has to make a choice. Fugaku hesitated. Then why? You want to say why not just seize power? Kill the second Hokage. Do you really think you can succeed? The old clan leader said slowly. Konoha's heritage is not something that the Uchiha clan can compete with. Not to mention Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo, the elite Jonin are all biased towards Konoha. The combined threat of those big clans is also great. Even if we kill the second generation, it will be useless. The Hokage's position will not be our turn. The most important thing is, the mirror itself is unwilling to do this. We cannot offend Konoha, and offend the only owner of the Mangekyō Sharingan in the clan. Unwilling. Why, could it be? Fugaku said with difficulty. No, he is still a member of the Uchiha clan. I can feel that his heart is still towards Uchiha. It is necessary to put the great elders and others in prison. This is the prerequisite for the change of the Uchiha clan. The Uchiha clan will get their rights, but not now. It's just that I'm not young anymore and I can't see that day anymore. Fugaku, Assistant Mirror, help me see the future of the Uchiha clan. Okay, I understand. Fugaku is not a person who doesn't know how to adapt. And now that he is the deputy clan leader, he has already gotten a huge advantage. The old patriarch is very thoughtful. I vaguely guessed some of the layout of the mirror. Including constantly making friends with Jonin in Konoha village, facing the people in the village with a kind personality, and killing Chiyo and capturing the third Kage alive, these are all building momentum for the Uchiha clan to rise to power in the future. But little does anyone know. This is just the purpose of the mirror. He has only one real purpose, and that is to become stronger, so powerful that he can surpass the pinnacle of the universe ninja world. Advertisement. The other side. Mirror of Flying Thunder God Technique. The next second, I arrived at the Hokage building and couldn't help but sigh. As expected of the Flying Thunder God technique developed by my eldest brother. It's really convenient for traveling. In the future, when I get old, I may be able to use this to deliver takeaways or something. Takeaway. What? Just delivering food to people's homes, you can definitely make money. Senju Tobirama rolled his eyes at him. Kill the enemy at ultimate speed with the Flying Thunder God technique. You kid, what did you think of my forbidden technique? You actually delivered food to others. Haha, just kidding. Tell me, how's it going? Senju Tobirama asked. Uchiha Kagami said seriously. It's done. The elders of the clan were all taken away by Anbu. I used Sharingan hypnosis to kill them, including the clan members who were noticed nearby. Well done, thanks to you. Senju Tobirama breathed a sigh of relief. If you hadn't realized that the Uchiha clan might launch another coup, otherwise the village would have been in disaster again. Brother, it's easy to suppress them with the strength of the village. Jing said modestly. No, your method is simpler, and it is more concealed and less likely to cause accidental injuries. You have done a lot of credit this time. Senju Tobirama hesitated for a moment and said, but you told me last time that you hoped to get the Uchiha clan out of the Konoha police department. Have you thought about it? This right is hard-won, and many wealthy clans can only dream of it. Brother, don't test me. It's not like you don't know the situation of the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Kagami said with a little helplessness. The Sharingan of the tribe can effectively maintain law and order, but their character is too arrogant and it is too easy to conflict with the people in the village. Since the clan's character cannot be changed for the time being, it's better to give up this right altogether and make plans for the future. Senju Tobirama thought for a moment and said, since I promised, I will not break my promise, but now is a war period. If the power of the Konoha police department is transferred, it may cause problems in the security of the village. How about waiting for the war to end? Okay, listen to Big Brother. Brothers. Senju Tobirama was relieved. He had promised to imprison all the chiefs of the Uchiha war faction and the power transfer of the Konoha police department from the beginning. Now that the time has been delayed, it's always hard for me. But fortunately, Jing was still as considerate as ever, which made him value Jing more and more, and sometimes it even felt like he was facing the illusion of his elder brother. Senju Tobirama patted him on the shoulder. Let's change our names from now on. I'll call you third brother, you call me second brother, Hashirama is your eldest brother, how about that? Huh, that would be great. Uchiha Kagami was stunned for a moment. Senju Tobirama, this title seems to be just one word different. But the actual meaning is completely different, which proves that the other party regards himself as a blood brother like Hashirama. Before he could finish thinking, suddenly, a mechanical prompt sounded in my mind. Open black lens bracket ding. System hint. Close black lens bracket. The favorability from Senju Tobirama is +5, the relationship is upgraded from, as close as brothers, to, life and death friends, and 50 points of chakra, aura characteristics Master of Forbidden Technique are obtained. Close black lens bracket. Master of Forbidden Technique. When you delve into Forbidden Technique, as long as the Forbidden Technique conforms to the logical theory, you will definitely develop it successfully. Close black lens bracket. Chapter 26 Orochimaru, I elect you to be the third Hokage. Advertisement. Quote question mark quote. Uchiha Kagami was ecstatic. Damn it. This aura is so awesome. As long as the Forbidden Technique conforms to the logical theory, it will be successfully developed. This is completely different from the aura characteristics of Ninja Professor. The former can only learn existing ninjutsu including the known Forbidden Technique. But the latter is the direct development of the unknown Forbidden Technique. And as long as the logic theory is correct, the development will be successful directly. This is much easier than Senju Tobirama who spent many years studying. As expected of my second brother, this surprise is too great. Senju Tobirama said with emotion. It's a pity that eldest brother can't see you, otherwise we three brothers can have a good drink together. It's okay, there will be opportunities in the future. Ah, what did you say? It's okay, I just said it casually. Uchiha Kagami was so happy that she forgot everything. I almost let it slip, but I saw Senju Tobirama looking suspicious, as if he wanted to explore this issue. But, suddenly, Anbu appeared and said anxiously. Lord Hokage, Tsunade's younger brother. Naoki was killed in battle. What? When? Not long ago, the body was returned. Tsunade will return to the village soon. Hiruzen-sama and his 2 students will be there. I'll be there right away. Mirror, you come with me. Good. The two looked at each other. Naoki is Tsunade's younger brother. Tsunade is Hashirama's granddaughter and Tsunade's second grandfather. Although the two of them are not actually close due to personality reasons, they certainly cannot ignore it due to their blood relationship. The two cast Flying Thunder God. We arrived at a wooden house in the mountains behind Konoha. Standing at the door was Sarutobi Hiruzen, and next to him were 2 young men who were probably only in their 20s, both wearing Jonin's vests. One had long white hair and a very sad expression. The other one had black hair and long golden pupils. The purple eyeshadow extends to the wings of her nose, her skin is pale and bloodless, and she wears a pair of Magatama-shaped earrings on her ears. Saw someone coming. Sarutobi Hiruzen immediately stepped forward to greet him. Teacher, you are here. Hokage-sama, Kagami-sama. Jiraiya and Orochimaru paused. He bowed slightly before his second-generation eyes and the accompanying mirror. Although they are not so willing, after all, Jing is not much older than them, but their seniority is really ridiculously high. Even their teacher. That is to say, we have a good relationship in private and don't need to hold the mirror up to our seniors. And he has almost no interaction with Jiraiya and Kagami in private, let alone second Hokage in person. Do you dare to try to be rude? Senju Tobirama walked in. Then he saw the bloody Naoki, who had long since lost his voice. The most important thing is that the death scene was so tragic. The whole body was blown into several pieces and was so charred that it was completely unrecognizable from its original appearance. Senju Tobirama glanced at them. What's going on? How did Naoki die? It was Iwagakure's advance troops who made a sudden attack. I led a small team to support. Naoki accidentally fell into a trap and was killed by the detonating talisman. Orochimaru looked guilty. Naoki, this boy is very brave on the battlefield, but I should pay more attention to it. It is my responsibility. Don't talk about responsibility. This is the fate of ninjas. You are Naoki's teacher. Now you feel more heartbroken than anyone else. Advertisement. Senju Tobirama glanced at the silent mirror. He had quarreled with himself before, also because of these young children. Jing said that some children were even killed by a detonating talisman, without any coping strategies at all, and now it has all come true. The sacred tree was only a little over 10 years old and lost its young life. Perhaps, should something really be done? At least, the lives of these children cannot be allowed to go in vain. Although Kagami was also a little sad, he was looking at Orochimaru secretly at the moment. It seems that in the original work, it was Naoki's death that made him realize the fragility of life, and then Kato Dan deepened his concept. From now on, he is out of control on the road of science. Not long after, Tsunade came but was stopped by Orochimaru, who also handed her a green necklace. Forget it, stop looking. You may not be able to accept Naoki's appearance. This is the necklace you gave him before going to the battlefield. My Naoki. Tsunade burst into tears. Her hand was holding the necklace tightly, and her whole person seemed to have lost her soul. Naoki's death did not affect the continuation of the war. Instead, it became more intense as time went by. Naoki was buried in the back mountain that night. Tsunade was so sad that she fainted and was sent to the medical department. Jiraiya blames himself for not taking good care of Tsunade's younger brother, and lies alone in the tavern drinking and feeling depressed. Night. In front of the newly erected tombstone. Orochimaru stared quietly, his expression seemed very indifferent. But as everyone knows, as Naoki's only teacher, the sadness in his heart is not much worse than that of others, but he doesn't like to show it on the surface. Human life is really fragile. Orochimaru said hoarsely. Even the mighty ninja god Senju Hashirama can't fight against death, so what can I do? No, there will always be a way. If you can, it's not a bad idea not to be a human being. What a great idea. I applaud you. Who? Suddenly. A soft voice came from around. Orochimaru suddenly became alert and saw the young man wearing a Jonin vest but with the Uchiha clan emblem tattooed on his shoulder walking towards him. Mirror. Master Jing. Orochimaru said reluctantly. What are you doing here? Uchiha Kagami said very kindly. There is no need to be formal, Orochimaru, you and I are of the same age, you can call me whatever you want in private. Thank you very much, otherwise I would be really awkward. Orochimaru narrowed his eyes and said, but I'm curious. It's so late, why does the strongest man of the Uchiha clan come to see me? You want to resurrect Naoki? What? Orochimaru looked shocked. Resurrection. Is there such a forbidden technique in the ninja world? Uchiha Kagami replied. There are many taboo techniques, and of course you can't access them now, but I happen to know this technique, and let me tell you a secret news, my second brother, that is, the second Hokage can also do it. Then why? Orochimaru didn't understand. You want to say why this kind of technique can't be used to resurrect the sacrificed people? It's not that it can't be done, but it requires a living sacrifice to perform this technique. Uchiha Kagami said calmly. Also, people after resurrection will have some minor disadvantages, but people after resurrection will not die, and chakra will not be exhausted, except for sealing techniques, which are almost impossible to target. I previously proposed to the second generation project. Using some criminals to resurrect people from some villages to form an immortal army can completely serve as cannon fodder, but due to the bottom line of morality, my second brother did not agree to this plan. But I still don't understand, why did you choose me? Orochimaru still did not let down his guard. What is your purpose? I don't believe it. You are just trying to help me. Uchiha Kagami said with a smile. My purpose is very simple. My second brother is not young anymore. Sooner or later he will abdicate Hokage. When the time comes, I will help you become the third Hokage. Chapter 27I, Uchiha Kagami, have a flexible moral bottom line. Advertisement. Quote exclamation mark quote. Why did you choose me? Now, I'm just an ordinary Jonin. How can I be a Hokage? Orochimaru was shocked and surprised. He was still just a Konoha Jonin, even the apprentice of Sarutobi Hiruzen. But I haven't thought about Hokage's position at all, because he is still very simple-minded and has not yet transformed into a pervert scientist. It's actually normal to be attracted to the Hokage. No, you are not ordinary at all. Your talents are unrivaled in the ninja world. Uchiha Kagami said seductively. It won't be long before, your name Orochimaru will be as famous as mine in the ninja world. You have both strength and fame. You deserve the position of third Hokage. Just think of me as investing in you in advance, Orochimaru, I'm very optimistic about you. Thanks for the compliment. Orochimaru suddenly thought of something and began to doubt again, but I heard my teacher say that you will elect him as the third Hokage after the second Hokage abdicates. Are you trying to trick me? How is it possible? I just said it casually. I also said that I would recommend Danzo, but they all believed it. What can I do? Uchiha Kagami said cheatingly. Quote question mark quote. Orochimaru was stunned for a moment, then squinted his eyes and smiled. Mirror, you are so sinister. You are completely different from the kind person rumored in the village. Uchiha Kagami said seriously. I am indeed very kind. I want them to avoid fighting for the Hokage position and causing a life and death fight. Just choose someone else. Wouldn't this be a perfect solution? Hehe. Orochimaru didn't believe it. Uchiha Kagami shook his head, took out the scroll and threw it to him. Naturally, the theory and operation of impure world reincarnation were recorded in it. The other party took a cursory glance at it and couldn't help but have a look of amazement on his face. Such a valuable technique should not be buried, but you actually gave it to me directly. Aren't you afraid that I will threaten you after I learn it? Orochimaru said hoarsely. These techniques are of some value to me, but not much, not enough for me to pay much attention to them. Uchiha Kagami said with calm eyes. Besides, Orochimaru, since I have the confidence to give you everything, I have the confidence to take it all back. Don't do anything stupid. Okay, I understand. Orochimaru nodded. Besides, is there anything else to explain? Uchiha Kagami took out a bottle of reagent, handed it to him and casually said, here is the cell solution of first Hokage. It is filled with huge vitality. Take the time to study it. I may use it later. What to do? Of course, you don't have to say anything. Orochimaru blinked. There's nothing I can't say. If you use Mangekyō Sharingan too much, you will go blind. Hashirama cells can reduce or even immunize the eyes. Although I'm fine now, I want to take precautions before they happen and don't rush to use them. Okay. Orochimaru thought to himself. The disadvantage of Mangekyō Sharingan is that the other party tells him so easily. It seems that there are other ways to save myself, so I don't worry about being hijacked by these Hashirama cells. No wonder I feel confident. But I have to say, his fear of the mirror became more and more intense. Orochimaru looked nervous. Wait, where did you get the Hashirama cell solution? Did you steal it directly? If second Hokage finds out, we will be finished, and we may be forced to defect. What are you talking about? I got it from second generation. Uchiha Kagami said straightforwardly. I told him that I would use Hashirama cells to weaken Mangekyō's burden. He was also worried that I would go blind, so he agreed. What about impure world reincarnation? Orochimaru asked again. I gave it to you with my consent, but Hashirama cells must be tested on humans first, and the test products need to be criminals in prison. In addition, I have told my second brother that I recommend you to be the third Hokage, but I need you to give some results, do you understand? Advertisement. Quote. Orochimaru was silent. He suddenly realized that he seemed to have underestimated the closeness between Mirror and second generation. He originally thought that Kagami came to him with second generation's purpose behind his back, and he even did not hesitate to act as a traitor and make some extraordinary moves. As a result, all of these have been reported. But this also means that he can experiment openly. Once the scientific research results of penultimate are available, second Hokage will be impressed. In the future, third Hokage will not be a dream. As for resurrecting Naoki, after having impure world reincarnation, Orochimaru is not in a hurry. His disciple was resurrected just after he died and went into the battlefield. It would be better to wait until the war is over and resurrect again, which can also eliminate some bad effects. As for, why did Senju Tobirama agree? In fact, it is very simple, because his moral bottom line is not high. Not to mention that this plan itself has huge benefits for Konoha. The reason why it has never been used is because he developed impure world reincarnation, and was severely stopped by Hashirama. Due to the face of his eldest brother, it could only be sealed. Now we see that Tsunade's brother was killed by the explosion, plus the previous mirror's escape. Tobirama doesn't care about that much anymore. As for the mirror, not to mention, he has the memory of a modern person. Therefore, his moral bottom line is very flexible, and he is just doing human experiments. Isn't this the fundamental thing for scientists? Konoha's 37th year. The war intensified, and Cloud Shinobi Village and Iwagakure launched attacks at the same time. Rain Shinobi Village couldn't stand being beaten passively in the middle, and declared war on the ninja world on the spot. Not long after, Rain Shinobi Village leader Sancho Hanzo joined the battlefield. A ninja at the top of the ninja world. The man known as a demigod is known to almost everyone. Almost as soon as they got this information, some of Konoha's top brass felt like they were facing a formidable enemy. Many Jonin gathered together to discuss countermeasures. Senju Tobirama sat at his desk calmly, with Uchiha Kagami standing next to him. Senju Tobirama went straight to the topic and said, the leader of Rain Shinobi Village and Iwagakure have joined forces. Who should be sent to deal with it now? What do you think? Let Kagami go. Kagami is a man who can defeat even the strongest cage. He will definitely have no problem dealing with the man known as the demigod. Yes, let Jing go to support. I agree too. Almost all Jonin's opinions were the same. Not only because everyone admires Jing's strength, but also because currently only Jing is more suitable, and other candidates are too unsafe. Senju Tobirama looked at Mirror and asked, Mirror, what's your suggestion? Or do you have a recommendation from a suitable person? Although I have the confidence to compete with Hanzo, the village also needs young people to shine. I can't take all the credit. Uchiha Kagami raised his hand and pointed to the corner. The Loki Tsunade group of 3 people said, but if they are not strong enough, they will just die. I think Hiruzen's 3 apprentices are completely qualified. They are young and strong, more than enough to contain Hanzo. Chapter 28. Today I will make you fall off the altar. Advertisement. Quote exclamation mark. Quote. Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly became anxious. Mirror, are you kidding me? I am not favoring Tsunade and the others, but the other party is a demigod who is known as the peak of the ninja world. If you let them go to the battlefield, isn't this asking them to die? They are young and have great potential in the future. I don't agree. If you don't agree, then who do you think is suitable? Jingfeng asked. The most suitable one, isn't you. But Mr. Second Generation ordered me to complete an S-class secret mission not long ago. To be honest, I have hidden wounds on my body. An S-class secret mission. Everyone was stunned. He looked up at Second Generation Master and saw the other person nodded. Only then did everyone put aside their doubts, and this S-class mission was certainly not a fabrication. It was because the elders of the Uchiha clan had been secretly purged some time ago. This S-level mission, only Kagami and Senju Tobirama know. Except for the hidden injury, which is fake, everything else is real. In this case, then Cage is not suitable for the battlefield. Everyone knows the importance of Kyo, and he must not be sacrificed. Akamaiki said. I think so too, let's find another candidate. Kato Dan said. In that case, then Danzo and I will go. Sarutobi Hiruzen gritted his teeth and said, for Konoha, I can sacrifice myself. Even if I give up this life, I will stop Hanzo. Danzo has the same awareness as me. He is as good as me. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Danzo was immediately dumbfounded. Damn it, you have such an awareness, but I don't. You kid wants to die so much, why do you have to take me with you? He now wants to bang Hiruzen on the head and ask, is your head filled with shit? Fortunately, second Hokage came to his rescue, and Senju Tobirama looked at Tsunade and the others. Fighting Hanzo is a difficult task, and according to Anbu's intelligence, Iwagakure and the leader of Rain Shinobi village seem to be secretly connected. The level of danger will be very high. If you don't want to, I won't force you. We do. The three of them looked at each other. They nodded almost in unison. Without any hesitation or fear, Tsunade is out for revenge. After all, his younger brother Naoki died in Iwagakure's trap, and of course Jiraiya was there to protect Tsunade. As for Orochimaru, he had a little guess in his mind. It seems that Kagami's original words were not lies. The battle with the leader of Rain Shinobi village is the best opportunity for them to become famous. After rushing to the battlefield, the three of them soon started a confrontation with Hanzo. However, the three of them are still too young after all, and Hanzo is now at his peak, and they show their decline in almost every encounter. Fire-style detonating flame formation. Hanzo raised his hand and pressed it. Seizing Tsunade's flaw, a large number of detonating symbols covered it upwards. Tsunade struggled desperately but to no avail. Seeing that, he was about to be blown to death, Jiraiya gritted his teeth and used his secret technique. Ninjutsu. Needle Jizo. His hair grew rapidly, pulling Tsunade over and wrapping them up. However, those detonating symbols actually spread along the hair and started to explode at a very fast speed. Boom, boom, boom. There was a loud explosion and smoke filled the air. Jiraiya spread out his long hair and looked extremely pale. It was obvious that the damage of this move was too great. Even though he sharpened his hair, he still could not completely defend himself and his body was burned a lot. Jiraiya, if it weren't for me, you wouldn't have been injured. I'm sorry, Tsunade said unbearably. Advertisement. Okay, Tsunade, don't say these words at this time. Orochimaru, do it, latent shadow snake hand. With a low shout from Jiraiya. Amidst the thick smoke, pythons emerged out of thin air. Orochimaru used his unique skill to restrain Hanzo tightly, his cold face full of cruelty and ruthlessness. Jiraiya, now, okay, Hanzo, go to hell. Needle hell. The hairs on Jiraiya's back stood up. They were densely packed like steel needles, covering Hanzo who was unable to move. Phew, whoosh. However, this sharp attack had no effect. Hanzo didn't even make a seal, so he easily avoided it with the technique and landed on the head of the huge Sancho fish. Good cooperation, but it's a pity. I'm superior in skills, Hanzo said proudly. Damn it, even the coordinated attacks of the three of us can't work. Orochimaru's eyes gradually darkened. Is that the end? Jiraiya was very unwilling. It doesn't matter if he dies on the battlefield, but what about Tsunade? Hanzo crossed his arms, but said with a slightly sad expression. Personally, I won this battle, but the war between ninja villages is never decided by one person's victory. I thought I could fight against the strongest of the Uchiha clan, but I didn't expect that any ninja randomly sent by Konoha would have such potential. The victory of this war will probably belong to you, Konoha village. So, I'll let you go. Jiraiya was immediately furious. You don't need to pity us, we still have the energy to continue fighting. If you have the ability, come. Stop it, Jiraiya. Tsunade stopped. Hanzo was not angry, and said calmly, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Orochimaru, right. You three are very strong. You can survive against me for so long. It's very rare. I am Hanzo. From now on, I will call you Konoha Sanin. As the price of survival, each of us has to bear his own reputation. I look forward to one day, being able to fight you again. Tsunade and the three looked at each other. I felt ashamed and powerless in my heart. After all, I was still too weak. Orochimaru's fingers on his sleeves were even tighter, and his mood swings were more intense than those of Tsunade and Jiraiya. Originally Cage said they would become famous in the ninja world. However, he originally thought that the battle with Pan Zhang would be an honest victory or a draw, but in the end, he was given a name as a charity. How could the proud Orochimaru accept this? After all, after some fooling by Jing, he has set his sights on succeeding the third Hokage. Now the name given by such charity is no less than humiliating. Hanzo, stop! Orochimaru couldn't help but shout angrily. Hanzo was about to leave, but turned to look at him again, with a hint of amusement in his expression. Orochimaru, I thought, you were the calmest one. You wouldn't want to continue to die, would you? If you are really stubborn, then I can help you. Of course I won't die. You are just older than us. Sooner or later, I will defeat you head on. Orochimaru said righteously, but your humiliation of us today is equivalent to insulting Konoha. I, Orochimaru, can't bear it. Don't think that you are truly invincible. There are many people in Konoha who can kill you. Oh, really? Who do you mean? Of course it's me. Swish. The words have not yet finished. A figure appeared out of thin air. Jonin's vest coat was layered with armor. With his piercing dark eyes and a dozen special kunai strapped to his waist, he showed an indifferent attitude. Uchiha Kagami Haki said completely. Hanzo, even if you Rain Shinobi village joins the war, you actually dare to provoke Konoha. Who gave you the courage? Is it based on your title of Ninja World Demigod? Haha, Today I will make you fall off the altar. Advertisement Chapter 29 The Death of Hanzo, the Arrogant Third Hokage. Advertisement. Uchiha Kagami, you are indeed here. Hanzo was not timid at all, but instead sighed leisurely. The genius of the Uchiha clan, the undisputed strongest, will die here today. It's just you. Haha. I want to see if your abilities are worthy of the title of Ninja World Demigod. Fire style extinguish the fire. Uchiha Kagami was too lazy to talk nonsense to him. The moment the seal was completed, the lips were slightly opened. Hooray! Hurrah! Flames filled the sky like a sea and rushed towards his face. The scorching high temperature instantly evaporated the rainwater, and the momentum was extremely fierce. Blinking technique. Hanzo made a seal with one hand. As soon as he raised his hand, he left the place. Although he avoided this attack, Hanzo exclaimed in his heart, what an amazing fire style. The fire style released by Uchiha is so large in scale, it seems that the amount of chakra must be a lot. It seems like we have to decide quickly and there can be no tug of war. Summoning technique. He raised his hand and pressed it on the ground, and the smoke filled the air. A huge mountain pepper fish appeared and opened its bloody mouth. It spit out a large amount of purple poisonous mist, covering the entire battlefield in just a few seconds. Be careful, Mirror, Senior, Tsunade suddenly said anxiously. This poisonous mist is very toxic, please do not breathe it in. I know, please stay away. Good. Tsunade and the other three hurriedly retreated. Jiraiya couldn't help but ask curiously, what ninjutsu do you think Kage will use to deal with such a large area of poisonous mist? It seems to be wind style. Wind style is a good way to blow away the poisonous mist. But I remember Jing said before that he is not very good at wind style. Orochimaru thought secretly in his heart. The poisonous mist became more and more intense. Uchiha Kagami mobilized chakra, raised his hand and clapped it out. Wind style firewind palm. Haha. Just like Gale palm, such a weak ninjutsu wants to blow away my poisonous mist. Uchiha Kagami, you are so naive, huh? Before Hanzo finished speaking, when he saw the opponent's palm coming down, a strong wind suddenly blew up. The scale was exactly the same as fire style. The violent wind was like a tornado, blowing away the poisonous mist easily. How is it possible? Just a low-level ninjutsu can blow away my poisonous mist. Doesn't your chakra cost money? I don't believe it. Your chakra must be exhausted, right? You are just pretending. Go to hell. Swordsmanship. Flash. Hanzo made a seal with one hand. In an instant, he appeared behind the mirror. The side in his hand is filled with a large amount of chakra. This is his most powerful swordsmanship, and he once defeated Mifune with this move. Now, it's Uchiha's turn. However, the opponent easily avoided this fatal blow. The Scarlet 3 Tomo Sharingan had already been activated. He saw through this seemingly sharp attack and pulled out the special kunai from his waist. Poof! Uchiha Kagami pulls no punches. A knife cut through his abdomen, and a large amount of blood spurted out. Hanzo vomited a large amount of blood and stumbled to the ground. His face was extremely pale, but his eyes became more and more shocked. Your swordsmanship skills. It's actually so high. What kind of school is this? Uchiha Kagami said very modestly. A friend of mine created this book by himself. It's called Hatake Sword Technique. The move just now is called Hatake Sword Slash. Not long ago, my friend relied on this move, combined with my Sharingan, to force the third Kage into a desperate situation. Advertisement. Really? The strongest Kage was defeated by this move. Then I didn't lose unjustly. Really? Uchiha Kagami looked solemn, but I almost couldn't hold back my laughter. Hatake's sword skills are certainly strong. After all, he was able to kill Scorpion's parents with his sword skills. But at the beginning, Uchiha Kagami mainly relied on Uchiha Kagami for that battle, but he didn't mind making his friends famous, and it wasn't a big deal to brag a little more. Furthermore, Hatake Tsukumo really cooperated with himself. Even if it only helped him a little, he could be considered as cooperating to win the third Kage without any glitches. But it's not over yet. With a presence like you in Konoha, the future of Rain Shinobi Village may turn into darkness, and I will drag you to hell with me. Fire style detonate the flame array. Hanzo's eyes were fierce. Mobilize all remaining chakra. He raised his hand and pressed it to the ground, and a large number of detonating symbols appeared. This technique might have been useful not long ago, but now that Uchiha Kagami has experienced the impressive record of killing Chiyo and capturing third Kage alive, his chakra accumulation has exceeded 100,000 points. The strength has already transformed. It can be said that it is comparable to the tailed beast level chakra. Such a fire style without any cover was almost impossible to be effective in front of Sharingan. Uchiha Kagami raised his feet and retreated to dodge. At the same time, he threw out the three-pronged kunai in his hand. Call out. Go straight to the other person's head. Hanzo was seriously injured at the moment and couldn't avoid it when his chakra was exhausted, so he could only watch the kunai attack his head. You still won't save me. Damn it, it's really unreliable. Sancho fish. Hanzo gritted his teeth. The ground suddenly cracked, and the black Sancho fish emerged. The huge body blocked him, but after the kunai fell on it, it turned into a white smoke and dispersed. Oh, what a nice idea. Although you are a little weaker than I thought, your combat experience is more experienced than anyone else, but that's the end of it. Uchiha Kagami was a little surprised. His face gradually turned cold, just when he was about to kill him. Suddenly, a flash of lightning suddenly appeared. This guy is incredibly fast. Quietly appeared behind Hanzo and pierced his heart with one hand. Hanzo turned his head with difficulty, looking unbelievable. PFF'd. Why? Didn't we agree to cooperate? Why did you suddenly attack me? You are just a small ninja village. What qualifications do you have to discuss cooperation with a big country? The man behind him looked disdainful. The whole body is covered in lightning-style coat, and the skin is very dark. He has long light hair and a mustache on his chin, and looks very rude and violent. This person is none other than. It is the Third Hokage. You guy who goes back on your word, sooner or later you will follow in my footsteps. I'll be waiting for you in hell. Hanzo gritted his teeth and hated it. His breath became weaker and weaker, and then he lost his voice. Third Hokage threw him to the ground casually, with a look of deep disdain on his face. The pinnacle of the ninja world. Is this the level? I originally thought you could contain it, but it ended up being solved in a matter of seconds. What a waste of time. Lord Hokage, you are going too far. Uchiha Kagami frowned and said. You haven't even fought with him, you just took the opportunity to pick up his head, how can you have the shame to ridicule? Why not? Just because I'm the strongest Hokage. Third Hokage showed a confident expression. Even you can defeat him. With my strongest spear and strongest shield, killing him will only be faster. Chapter 30 Orochimaru. I bet Uchiha Kagami will win. Advertisement. Hehe. Uchiha Kagami couldn't help but laugh. This guy really can stand and talk without pain in his back. Although Hanzo is a little too watery, he is still famous in the ninja world. The reason why he is so relaxed is because he can only crush them with chakra, and he has mastered more ninjutsu than he can count. Sharingan's blessing allows him to avoid his attacks completely. You are just stronger as a single target. You can't deal with the large-scale poisonous mist alone, not to mention Hanzo's teleportation technique and swordsmanship, which are the best in the ninja world, and his control of water style is also very good. If you really want to fight him, it's really a 50-50 split. Hanzo may not be able to stick to your body, but under the erosion of this poisonous mist, if you inhale even a little bit, you will definitely overturn. But he was too lazy to compete with such a fool. Instead, he glanced at the sky, and Uchiha Kagami couldn't help but smile. Tsuchikage Dono, please come out too, I've already discovered you. As expected of Uchiha, I can't hide it from you Sharingan. Onoki landed from high altitude, floating next to Hokage Eye, forming a confrontation with him. Uchiha Kagami glanced at Hanzo's body and seemed to guess the inside story. It seems that you originally cooperated with Rain Shinobi Village and planned to deal with me. Only, it seems that because the peak of the ninja world is about to die, you took the opportunity to hit the target and weaken Rain Shinobi Village to gain the benefits of the war. It's smart, that's how we planned it. Onoki wiped his beard and said with a smile, but suddenly I discovered that the leader of Rain Shinobi Village has been intimidating the ninja world for many years. It is better to get rid of Hanzo. As a small shinobi village, there is no need to worry about the consequences. And your fight with Hanzo must have consumed a lot of chakra. If I join forces with Mr. Hokage, the probability of killing you is also very high. As expected of you, you are so wily and calculating. Uchiha Kagami said with a half smile, didn't I capture the third cage alive once? Are you so worried about being taken back to Konoha as a guest by me? We're the only ones worried. You, Konoha Village, are obviously very ambitious, but it is unbearable for me, Cloud Shinobi Village, to bear the infamy. Really think you are invincible? I don't believe that with my lightning-style chakra mode, your Sharingan can be avoided. Third Hokage was furious. Veins are popping out, and the whole body is covered in lightning style. It turned into a ray of blue light and rushed towards him, clasping his thumbs and fingers together, and slashed towards his neck with the hand knife. You arrogant boy, take advantage of my 4 swords. What an amazing speed. Uchiha Kagami's pupils tightened. I can't help but be a little amazed at how powerful lightning-style chakra mode is. The lightning-style armor covers the whole body, not only activating the body to enhance defense, but also allowing the lightning-tempered body to increase the speed of nerve response. Although, Third Hokage is slower than Fourth Hokage. But the former has stronger attack and defense power than the latter, and is known as the strongest spear and strongest shield in the ninja world. No wonder Sasuke was beaten so badly. It wasn't that Mangekyō wasn't powerful enough, but that even though the opponent's movement was vaguely captured, Urzu's nerve reaction speed was too slow. There is no way to make the proper strategy, so I can only use Susanoo and Amaterasu to defend passively. Advertisement. But Uchiha Kagami was different. The moment his eyes turned into Mangekyō, the 2 fingers of his right hand came together. Swish. The figure disappeared. Then, he appeared next to Hanzo's body. This is Flying Thunder God technique. Third Hokage was surprised and shocked. You actually learned Second Hokage, the original Flying Thunder God technique. No wonder you can avoid my attack. Sir Hokage, this person's talent is too high. Onoki said with deep eyes. This reminds me of Uchiha Madara, who once dominated the ninja world. We must work together to get rid of him here. Good. Third Hokage is very reckless. But he was not completely unaware of the crisis. You must know that although second generation is not as good as Senju Hashirama, it has achieved the title of Ninja World's Most Speedy, with its original Flying Thunder God technique. And Uchiha Kagami not only awakened Mangekyō Sharingan. Ninjutsu methods are emerging endlessly, and now that he has mastered the Flying Thunder God technique, he will be even more powerful and the future threat will be too great. The most important thing is that Jing is very young. Even, already more dangerous than second generation. It's okay if you are strong. The original first Hokage was kind and had no idea of unifying the ninja world, which made everyone very comfortable. But second Hokage is different. This old guy is an ambitious politician, no less insidious than third Tsuchikage, once Uchiha Kagami grows to the level of Uchiha Madara. No, not even half of it. It was enough to make Onoki feel scared, and the ninja world might not be able to live in peace in the future. After witnessing everything not far away, the young Konoha Sannin suddenly looked panicked, and even Orochimaru couldn't sit still. It's over, it's over. Tsunade said anxiously. The third Raikage and the third Tsuchikage are going to work together to deal with the mirror. Now the mirror is in danger. We must send the information back as soon as possible, request support. It's necessary to send information back, but we have to do something. Why don't we go support Jing? Jiraiya gritted his teeth and said, Mirror is the future of Konoha. Even if we die here, we can't let Mirror die on the battlefield. Orochimaru, you have the smartest mind, do you think we should support you? I don't think it's necessary. Are you scared, you coward? I'm not a coward, Jiraiya. Orochimaru said hoarsely. Don't forget the strength of these two Kage, they are almost the best among the same level. With Raikage's speed, they can easily find a flaw to kill us, let alone Onoki. Quote. We only drag Jing down when we go up there. It won't have any effect at all. Instead, it will distract Jing. Your method won't work. Then we just sit back and wait to die. Looking in the mirror, sacrifice. Jiraiya said impatiently. You don't seem to be looking at the mirror. Orochimaru asked. Jiraiya shook his head and said not optimistically. Hey, I know that Jing is very strong, but the opponent is not a good person. With the cooperation of two people, can Jing really block it? No, I think Mirror can win. Jiraiya does not believe in evil. Why? No, why do you make such a conclusion? What is the basis? Orochimaru's eyes showed a hint of calmness. Go with your gut. I bet Uchiha Kagami will win.